All right, friends. We are ramping up for the budget meeting this evening. Let me see if I can add a little something. Let's see. All right. Oh, that kind of hides my face. All right. Well, I just thought I would log on early because I'm expecting some folks. If you got them, drink them. Okay. This is a red wine, and I thought it appropriate. It's called, I don't know if you can see this because I have my background blurred. It's called Educated Guess. I did see Lee's financial update. That's exciting. So hopefully this is going to be a really good meeting. I know that for the board meeting, we do not allow for comments on that FHPOA board page, but comments are important, right? We need to hear what each other is thinking and hearing and wanting within our community. And so I plan to take the comments that we get in this live stream and make sure that Lee gets them by way of feedback loops. So cheers to you. Thanks for being here. And for those that are actually going to the board meeting, I'm very excited to hear about the meeting setup, how it was. Could you hear? I'm excited to hear all the things about how good the meeting was in the new Harbor Club. So I'm excited. Should be a good meeting. I see we've got several people joining. Hi, everybody. It is so humid here. If you see like the glisten, it is like 78% humidity, and it's very warm. So I know it's freezing back home, which is just crap, right? Like I've been watching and listening and have friends that have been messaging me about the weather back home, and I really hate that for everybody. Hi, Dan. Are you going to the meeting, Dan, in person? I would love to know. You can text me anytime. But yeah, I'm just here to have some drinks and catch up with everybody before we start. Let's see, what's been going on here? I got this hat from Etsy. Oh, go Dan. I love that you're on your way. I can't wait to hear feedback. I don't know whenever you joined, but I would love to know like what seating was like in the Harbor Club. Could you hear folks from the back? Just like let us know a general feel for the room, the atmosphere. I'm anxious to hear. So, and I can't wait whenever we're back. Harbor Club visit's one of my first stops. So, but I got this hat, ADHD, from Etsy store, and I love it. It just came, and this blue behind the red is all glitter. It makes me very happy. All right. How's everybody else doing? Good? It's been a crazy week. It's been a crazy year. I feel like 2025, for as kind of long and hard as it was with all the things, 2026 has just like hold my beer, right? And just decided to go completely off the rails. So I am anxious to hear how we turn out come the end of the year. Come the end of the year, let's have a chat and see how we fared, okay? Okay, so while we're talking, I will just share some more about what we've been doing here. So we've been in Hawaii for a few months and we are loving it. Lots of things to compare and contrast. I'm actually working on a little blog post situation that I'm going to share with folks. But I ended 2025 very stressed. So in addition to us moving for this job opportunity that we have here for this limited time, we also moved my dad into a skilled nursing facility that had, different and better capabilities, things that would keep him safer, right before we left. So he actually moved 7 days before we moved. So I had 2 moves happening at the same time and just a bunch of things. And so I was so stressed that it was starting to just physically manifest. I've been to the doctor more this year than I have been to the doctor in the past decade, and that's saying a lot considering I have 2 kids that were born within the past decade. So, it's just been crazy, but I've been trying to take more time for myself. I got a nice massage and facial last night, so I'm looking the best this is gonna get in 2026, okay? But I've also been painting a lot. So I don't know if you can see this, I've been doing a lot of watercolors. I might have to unhide, but I've been very excited to get into watercolor painting. I did a bunch of stuff over the winter break. So yeah, we've been doing good here. Let's see. We've got about 10 minutes till the meeting starts. I do have it set up to where I am planning to live stream from the board's page. I have it to where we can hear through the board's page. So all of the audio should be as you would hear it on their page. And I also have added to my ability to actually see the financial statements that we can reference that came out via email yesterday. So I'm hoping that this kind of one-stop shop for all things 2026 budget meeting is going to be helpful. So we'll be able to see the live stream and actually go through the documents as Lee does. But I'm excited to hear his feedback. I know he's been working really hard to get questions answered, things that just didn't make sense to him based on his last update, things that we were questioning or needing more input from Troon, our banks around. And so the fact that we're actually starting the year off with a budget meeting and can kind of cast a vision for what it looks like in the future, given the dollars that we have to not only spend on the new Harbor Club, but all the other things in Fairfield Harbor from a run and maintain perspective. I'm excited to hear how we're going to do that, given that. Does everybody have, I can share with you, I didn't see it on Front Steps. So I did go into Front Steps and looked for the actual document that was attached to the email that came out yesterday, and I did not see a link for it. So I don't have it linked through to the description for this video. If nothing else, I'll just upload it to my drive and make it available for those, just so you have a hyperlink to it. But hopefully after tonight's meeting, this PDF document will be available on Front Steps for everybody to access. Let's see. Just going to check on. I'm going to refresh my other screen where I've got the board meetings streaming. I don't see that they've started anything yet. So we've got about 9 minutes till that meeting starts. All right. What else is going on? What else have I seen? Let's just scroll, shall we? Let's have a conversation. Let's see what's happening in the community. I'm only on the residents of Fairfield Harbor group these days. I don't even think that's by choice. I think that's, or not by my choice. I think I remember requesting access to these other pages, and I just haven't been there yet today. Oh, if you went to the water rate meeting, Carolina Water Services had a meeting today about the rate increases that they propose. I know there is so much going on. We just got our mail. Thank you so much to our neighbors who have been making sure that we're getting our mail. We love you. But we have seen all of the rate increase stuff, and I was excited to hear how those meetings went today. Did anybody go in person? I would love to know. Oh, and have you heard about the, let me see if I can find it really fast. Oh, it's a month from now, literally a month from now. Today's January 28th. February 28th, there's a pancake breakfast in Fairfield Harbor. It's going to be at the community center, which is not the Harbor Club, but at the community center with the fire department. There is going to be a waffle breakfast. Sorry, I think it said pancakes. A waffle breakfast fundraiser for the United Members of Fairfield Harbor. And so it says waffles will be prepared from scratch. No box mix. Our chefs will prepare waffles with a choice of sausage and bacon, and beverages are included. It's from 8:30 to 11 a.m. and it's $12 per person, and they have raffle prizes. So if you went to there was a cookout last summer, fallish time frame. I forget when it was, but it was really well attended and really good food. So if the chefs for the waffle breakfast are the same chefs that made the barbecue, you are in for a treat. So if you are looking for tickets, I actually have tickets that I worked with Dan to get. And so I would love to gift those to somebody. So let's say that you want to go, but maybe money is tight and you can't afford to go, I would love to make sure that you have access to go. So if you will reach out to me directly, you can reach me through the comments here. I will not share it on the page, but you can reach me through the comments on YouTube. You can send me a message on Facebook. You can text me directly. Most everybody in the community has my phone number. So you can text me. But yeah, please feel free to reach out. I have 4 tickets and I would love for you to go if you want to go and just can't afford to do it. So please let me help you go. I would love to do that for you. All right. Oh, so let's see what else is happening. Waffle breakfast, February 28th. What else do we got going on? Fairfield Harbor. I feel like I've seen a lot less poop posts on Facebook. So I'm hoping that we figured out that they were either wild animals coming in from the game lands or like wild outside dogs that we just can't control because they don't even live in Fairfield Harbor, or they were foxes or something else. But it's been quite a stark contrast starting the year without all of those. Or maybe that's just on the groups that I was not invited to join. So, and I am all the better for it. Oh, what's happening? I did hear, what else is new? I did hear about, and I read the letter. Thank you, Walter Littleton, for was it Walter or Craig Myler? Somebody posted the actual letter of resignation for, sweet lady that was running the Harbor Point Golf Club, like the restaurant. And I understand her mom was frail and needing some support. And so she moved back to Texas and had to resign from managing the restaurant. And again, taking care of my dad and making sure that he's got everything that he needs, I certainly understand and am thinking of her because that's just a big lift, right? Especially having to move in the process of being able to support an aging parent. But I'm excited. I'm hopeful, I guess, that the restaurant will continue to thrive. I know it had kind of turned a corner under their leadership and guidance, and the team there is so great. So I'm hoping that someone will kind of pick it up and make sure that it doesn't collapse. So, all right, we're checking the time. We have 3 minutes. Are you ready? I'm ready. I have a dog right here sitting right beside of me, Jackson. He's a golden doodle. He's my shadow. So I know I can't pet you all the time. All right. I'm going to just do a quick, since we're 3 minutes out, I'm just going to do a quick refresh of the live stream. Ooh, it looks like we're coming up. All right. So I'm going to share this. Remove this, add this. All right, and I'm going to make myself down here. And then this way, we will be able to see. Will we? Let's go ahead and like it. And then if you're not subscribed to the FHPOA board page, make sure that you subscribe. I have about 238 or so subscribed to my page. So if you're on my page watching, thank you for being here. Please like and subscribe. But let's make sure that we subscribe to this, since this is the official kind of where everybody is waiting. And it looks like there are 7 waiting there. So that's exciting. Well, let's see if I can, maybe I can't make this bigger until it starts. We'll keep following up. You get to see all the things that I keep up with over here. I know, buddy, I can't rub you right now, okay? I need you to walk away. Walk away. All right, and don't forget, like, if we need to, just leave me a comment and I'm happy to switch over and we can actually go through the financials as we need to, okay? So we'll just do this. It's excruciating waiting for a meeting to start, I feel like. The company that I've been contracted with for the past year, so many people, some people dial into meetings like 5-6 minutes early. It's crazy, which I appreciate because we're being respectful of people's time. But at the same time, I have so many meetings, it's very hard to be early. All right. Can you hear? I can hear.
Does he have one of these over there? Yes.
Please let me know if you can hear this.
It's already on.
Ooh, I like the setup with the background and the big projection screen. That's nice.
This is the wrong color. Better not be.
Hello and welcome to the 26-27 annual budget meeting. And to start this off tonight, I'd like to ask Larry Basin to start with the invocation.
Should we stand?
Yeah. Please stand.
Heavenly Father, we thank you for the blessings you give us. We ask you, Lord, that you would be with this meeting tonight and just bless that you would give us wisdom to make decisions and do the things that you would have us do. We do this in Jesus' name. Amen.
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 And if you remain standing and join me in the Pledge of Allegiance.
Pledge allegiance.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America
And to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
And to begin with tonight, I'd like to have our community manager come up, Jennifer Unitas.
Yeah. I'd like being in the center.
Good evening. When I arrived here in 2017, I was quickly introduced to 2 residents who it became immediately clear were deeply woven into the fabric of Fairfield Harbour. Over time, I came to understand just how invaluable they have been, not only to this community, but to the board of directors, countless committees, our staff in the POA office, and personally to me. Gloria's impact on this community has been defined by leadership and service when it mattered most. She served on the board of directors in multiple capacities for more than a decade, helped guide the community through significant change, and was instrumental during moments of crisis, from coordinating Red Cross support after Hurricane Florence to helping lead Fairfield Harbour through the challenges of the COVID pandemic. She also played a hands-on role in major infrastructure moments, including the demolition of the old Shoreline Clubhouse, and then the construction of the boat launch. Many people don't know that the Shoreline Clubhouse used to be right here where we are many years ago. Pretty cool. Gloria is a researcher, a teacher, a perfectionist. She never forgets what she has written, and she can always recall when things have transpired. Gloria's dedication to being the secretary for the board is unmatched throughout the history of the community. She has even had a 3-month stint this year to help the board through a time where we didn't have a secretary. No doubt that Gloria's PhD in psychology always helped to figure out the best approach to each obstacle faced by the community, and her experience in her former work life offered a no-nonsense but still soft approach. You always want her on your side. She is an ace, capital letters. Al's impact on Fairfield Harbour cannot be measured by titles or positions. It's measured by continuity of presence and a lot of care. For nearly 20 years, Al has served as the historian and visual record keeper of Fairfield Harbour, preserving not just events, but the story of this community, who we were, how we changed, and why those moments mattered. Because of his work, future boards, residents, and families will be able to understand the journey of Fairfield Harbour, not just inherit the result. Al's service went far beyond documentation. He showed up day after day. He checked in with POA staff to take a break from his daily walk. He checked in with the maintenance team, the groundskeepers on the golf course, not because it was expected, but because he genuinely cared about the people who keep this community running. In doing so, he built trust, he strengthened morale, and reminded all of us what it means to be part of something larger than ourselves. His volunteerism was quiet, steady, and unwavering. Fairfield Harbour is stronger because of it. We especially love the stories about when he worked the night shift, managing the factory, and all of the processes that he implemented. He made comparisons to what we had to accomplish to help us. Gloria Hodgert and Al Afshauer represent the very best of Fairfield Harbour. They help readily when asked, and even when they're not asked. They tell the truth. They support progress, they appreciate good work, and they never seek credit. Above all, they are great neighbors. Please help me to honor Gloria and Al with your vote.
Yay! I love working with Gloria and Al. This is so well deserved. Al will tell you he loves creating content for Fairfield Harbour, more so in post-production, like looking back, right, rather than live content. But this is so well deserved, and his videos are so good. He has his own YouTube channel, which I'll link through to here in the description if you're interested. Looks like we're chasing people down. That sounds right. That tracks.
Okay, I'd like to start off by going over some of
Thank you for
our
zooming in.
projects that we've done this year for the roads and streets and what the budget monies were spent on. We did repairs to the main entrance, replaced the speed bumps on the main entrance. We have repaved 3 golf course holes and cart path, and we are in the process of doing 7 more golf course cart path holes. Those should be finished this year. There's been pothole repair throughout the community on Pelican, Caracara, Lanyard,
Hi to those that have
Westwood,
just joined.
Royal Pines,
Leave me comments. Let's
Argentine, and
have some
Grove.
dialogue about this meeting as we're going, if you can.
Excellent. We have a 3-year plan that we're set to do start road repair. And what we have for the first year is we're taking some small projects. We're going to do Kia Court, Nautilus Court,
I love seeing
Wellness
boat trailer
Court.
parking on there.
and Harbor Point Drive and pave those. We're also going to have a gravel trailer parking out here right by the boat launch area. In 2027, we plan on doing paving on Gondolier, Trade Winds, Buku Reef, and Plymouth Court. Now, we have to make sure that CWS comes out here before we start this work, and that they have gone through their infrastructure to make sure that it's
Plymouth Court's
in
where I,
good condition before we pave over it. What we don't want to have them do is us pave and then them come in and tear it up. So we're trying to work with them right now to make sure this infrastructure for these roads are in good shape. Next slide. For 2028, we're looking at paving Coral Reef Court. And just so all of you know, we have a 10-year plan that we're looking at. Reviews all the streets and roads. We have, there's 23 miles of roads in Fairfield Harbor. We have an engineering company, SEPI, that came in and took a look at all the roads and made suggestions. We've also gone along with the Roads and Streets Committee and looked at all the roads and streets and see which is in more critical need of repair. For stormwater, we're going to spend a lot of effort on stormwater in the community. We have just reviewed or sent out our renewal notice for the Gondolier Peninsula stormwater area. We have to keep this up to date. We're responsible for maintaining the weirs and the runoff from there, making sure that it's all maintained under the DEQ.
be good news for a lot of people. The
We're
stormwater
also looking at replacing
remediation.
culverts on the golf course. We replaced one this year that ran across the golf course of hole 18. And we're looking at doing, I think, 3 or 4 more across the golf course in the next year or two. We're also looking at, we did a culvert on Tradewoods in San Juan, which there was a culvert there which collapsed in, had a big sinkhole. And we replaced that culvert, and we're also looking at swale remediation. This year we went through and we, if any of you are familiar with up on Cara, where it wraps around Petit, Cara, we went through and did a remediation on those swales. So, and then also one of the projects we did this year was the Broad Creek Road drainage. That it now runs, if you're familiar, you're driving down Broad Creek, you used to always see the water that was up there by the trees. We've now contoured that area so it runs off into the pond. It used to run into the swale on Broad Creek, run under the road and flood the homes on Cara. So we're trying to remedy that. These are projects for the next 4 or 5 years. We have 28 miles of roadside swales that need remediation. We need to go through and make sure they're all cleaned out. We also have behind hole 18, there's a swale that is in desperate need of remediation. And we're going to start phase 1 next year. Also have the swale and culvert remediation on Harbor Point Drive and Osprey Court. We're looking to replace 6 culverts right under the Gondolier Peninsula. There again, we have to make sure that we do this before we do paving over there, so we don't pave and then tear up the road. We're going to go in, get this done, work with CWS, make sure all their work is done, and then we pave Gondolier Peninsula. We have 4 other cross-country corrugated metal pipes that we need to replace. And we need to work on some of the drainage structures replacement around. One of the things we have is a 36-inch pipe that runs under Pelican and out to the harbor. We need to replace that. And if you're familiar with it, it's right here next to the Harbor Club. It's taped off, so you can't get near it because it's collapsing in. And we need to replace that. And where it enters the harbor, we need to rebuild the bulkhead around there for that. We have to do general soil remediation and culvert cleaning. You already know that you have culverts out in front of your houses. If you have those, if you look at them, some of them are filled in. We need to get out there and make sure that those are cleaned out and that the water drains from here. Our storm drains around here are supposed to handle 2 inches of rain within 48-hour period. So if we get more than that, it's going to back up somewhere. So one of the other major projects we have is along the north side of Fairfield, where it backs up to Ganglands.
It's a great
And the Royal
question,
Pines are on
Ginger.
the north side.
Oh, it looks like they're buffering in the
These
office.
swells need to be remediation on those and cleaned out.
I can't answer this
We haven't
question. I'll
done
make
this in
sure I
40
pass it
years,
along.
so if you go down and look at those swells, they have trees in them, and the water just doesn't flow out. So
I'm
we need to
also a
make sure
little
that we
confused.
get
We
this
talked about
infrastructure
2026,
up and running
2027 and future. If
you know,
these bullets,
protect our
especially where
homes.
we have
So
things roped off
that-
where people
Larry,
can't
what
get
do
there
you think?
because of the cave-ins, is this stuff we're doing emergently, like now, or is this gonna wait till after 2028? I'm a little confused in that logic train.
Okay.
Oh, that's TMI.
Well, my name's Larry Mason, and
Of course,
really appreciate being able to be here tonight to talk to you about this.
absolutely.
I promise you what I'm gonna have to say is take less than 10 minutes, so it's not gonna be too much. We'll get to the important stuff that Leah's got for us. What I wanted to talk to you about are some projects that we've completed in 2025 that I have been personally associated with. I've been liaison, and I talked with her last year about the RFID, and so two things that I want to talk about with that, the gates and our lead line door controls. Next slide. Okay, this project actually was presented last February. We were doing the same thing, but now I can report to you, we've actually completed the first three gates: the main gate, shoreline gate, the Harbor Point gate, and the Barkington gate. Cards and the mobile app. So they're basically 100% done. Some interesting numbers that I can tell you is that we have issued, the POA office has issued over 3,700 windshield stickers, over 10,000 card credentials, and we have over 2,600 users listed and logged into our system. Okay. The next steps, as far as RFID is concerned, will be the Marina Drive area. Remember, we didn't get to put that in, but we are looking at what we will be doing in it. And then also the construction gate option. So that's all to be, it's on the table.
I cannot wait to have the construction gate conversation.
Next slide. The second thing was the doors, the electronic door controls. And so at Harbor Club here, we have 6 exterior doors that have electronic readers. The electronic reader is what you see in the center image. And then we have 2 interior doors that have readers on each side of the door. The purpose of all this is to be able to allow people to be able to come into the club without having to check out keys and then make sure to carry back keys. And the keys are inherently insecure. But this system works with the same RFID technology that our gates work with. So it's all integrated and works very well together. We're still waiting on parts to complete one side of the door, a couple of doors interior to get it completely finished, but then we'll be 100% with that. And we will be fully implemented. We'll have the ability to lock, unlock, and schedule locking on any door, as well as unlock the door with credentials and schedule that as well. Next slide. Okay, the next item I want to tell you about is cameras. We talked about it last year, and it was a little slow. It's been mostly done within the last 3 months, so we discussed it last year. It said it was going to be completed, and I'm happy to report it's 98% complete, with over 60 cameras implemented right now.
60
The
cameras?
left image you see is the golf club and the point. These are just representative images of what it looks like when you're in the software that maybe the guards will look at, where you're seeing multiple camera angles at one time. The center image is the harbor club, the right image are for gates. Now on the gates, we have not only observational cameras, but we have license plate recognition cameras as well that work in conjunction with our security system. To get 100%, we're going to be adding 5 more cameras. 2 will be in the harbor club, 1 more for the boat ramp, 1 for shoreline marina, and 1 for the amphitheater. They were just pulled out to save money, and they were trying to get those back in building. But this was all designed to better protect all of our assets and enhance security. And if you do have questions at the end, we have to answer anything I can about it. Next slide. Okay, the next one I'm pretty excited about. Anybody remember the beacon? The printed beacon. Okay, it's a newspaper. It was wonderful. From what I hear, I wasn't here. Let's see. You can pass some of these around. I'm gonna give you an example.
This is the
What we're
beacon
going to
survey
show
that
you
came
is
out.
an example of what we're going to be doing.
Do we want to
We're
have them
going
printed?
to have a printed edition of the beacon. We're looking at putting it out in March. It will be a bi-monthly. It will be the March, April edition when it comes out. And I'd like to tell you, and I appreciate that Bob and Chris really have volunteered to be the editors for this. And I think it's going to be wonderful. So,
Okay.
thanks to them. And after we put it out, this first issue is going
Hold
to
on,
cost little to nothing. We're going to put it out, and then we're going to do a survey to see how many people want to continue this. Put out in the survey what the cost is. That will be to the POA, not to you personally. That we'll let you know, and then you can let us know whether you want to continue this. I think it's going to be a great asset to the community. We've had much feedback stating that they want the printed stuff to come back. That not everybody likes online to get all their information. Some people just like to hold it in their hand. So that's what we're trying to do. So I'm really excited about that. Next slide. Last thing I want to tell you about is something new that I came up with because I saw a need. And that's when we work best, is when we see a need and try to fill it. But I had an idea that we needed a group like this, a group that could really work on technology issues. I consulted with other board members, and we created a charter for consideration of the board, and then the board approved that charter. It was announced in the Friday update. We requested anybody interested.
Thanks, Ginger. That's good information. I didn't realize that there were folks on Marina Drive not in the POA.
I presented them to the board with our recommendations. The board approved the membership. Now the members have been announced, and we will be having our first meeting in February. So again, if you have any ideas that you think that could use technology to better benefit the way we operate Fairfield, please let any of the
So
board
many
members know,
ideas
or
on
let
technology that
me
can
know,
benefit
or let any
Fairfield
member
Harbour and not
be on
be
this.
tracking everybody coming and going.
And with that, I'm going to turn it back over to you.
I will share those with this new technology advisory group. I'm
Now I'd
trying
like
not to
to
talk too loud.
bring up my
This is
foster
right
lady
here.
to talk to you about the Harbor Club.
Interesting. I didn't realize that. Thanks, Ginger. Wealth of information always. Appreciate you.
Short report. Short report.
I do short reports.
Thank you all for being here this evening. It's nice to have a space in Fairfield Harbor where we can assemble as a group of residents, accommodate this many members in person. Also, thanks to those viewing this meeting on YouTube. I know it's being recorded and will be available later. Thank you for that. sometime as construction was beginning to see an end here, and turn over this building from WIMCO to the POA was taking shape. The idea of a post-construction Harbor Club committee was obvious. The BOD asked for volunteers, received applications, reviewed them, and did interviews in person. This is a list of the folks that are serving. Thank them for their service.
How did I know?
It has always amazed me, as I've lived here since 2000, how much talent lives inside Fairfield Harbor. This group of people have an amazing amount of talent. In hospitality, it was difficult choosing who was going to be on this committee. And then surprisingly behind that, we also found out that Kathleen and Jennifer have a great deal of the same skills. So it was a great working group. One in conjunction with the POA staff, we quickly put together a list of operating needs for a Harbor Club, from suggested guidelines on usage, needed form updates, to brand new written standard operating procedures of so many things. Some of that work will continue.
Sounds like we have some internet
Thank you to the HCUC for their efforts
issues in the harbor.
so far. There will be more. As you can see, the building is complete. Many of you have already been here for activities. Some of
That's
you
nice.
remain operating in either the community center or the activity building, as those locations fit those individual groups' needs. The staff is still legally involved in making adjustments to this location. There are so many moving parts involved with a transfer and the operation of Fairfield Harbor. And even those same duties that they previously performed have to be assimilated to this location. Not always a simple and easy task. Our gratitude to them for their efforts and hard work. And a big thank you to the community for understanding as the adjustments are made. Comments from the community have been encouraging. The Harbor Club is becoming a center of activity and focus for our wonderful community. We can hardly imagine what this coming spring will be like as residents take full advantage of the outdoor locations and facilities and offerings here at the Harbor Club. Thank you.
Okay. Well, let's hear how we're going to fund it. Let's go, Lee.
At this time, I'd like to welcome Wayne Johnson from Reserve Associates.
Association Reserve.
Okay. I get it back for every time.
I'd just like to start by saying thank you guys for hiring our company to perform your reserve study and for coming out on this cold night to hear this. But a couple of things real quick that I really thought was pretty fantastic is you guys recognizing those volunteers early on, because this is a thankless job. We deal with so many boards and they really work hard and they deserve every kind of award you can give them. So that was cool. Before I started in this industry, I had over 20 years working at a newspaper. I was the advertising and marketing director, so it's good to hear the newspapers coming back. I didn't think that was going to happen.
Didn't think that
This
was
building is
antiquated.
We
And
didn't include that in this year's study, so.
For a beacon when we're not getting tangible things about our dues notices.
Anyway, I'm here to talk to you a little bit about the Fairfield Harbor Reserve Study that was formed late summer. And this is the second reserve study that we have done for Fairfield Harbor. The first one was back in 21. The update reflects new information, the observed conditions on my site inspection, and the continued aging of infrastructure. So some of the expectations are that the findings are challenging in the report, but are not unexpected for a community this age. Keep in mind that the reserve study does not create the problems. It just helps the association understand and plan.
So there are problems.
My goal tonight is a high-level overview, not a deep technical review of every component that's in the study, because it is a large study with all the components that this community has. So the big picture on what a reserve study does, a reserve study answers 3 fundamental questions. What are the common area components is the association responsible for? What condition are those components in? And when will they need major repair or replacement? And then are the current contributions sufficient to pay for those costs when they do occur? So one thing I'd like to clarify though, a reserve study is a planning tool. It's not an alarm bell. It provides foresight so that boards and homeowners can avoid emergency decisions.
We like
Here are some
that.
of the high-level findings that our study revealed. The overall takeaway, and one of the board members told me when we had a meeting before exactly what to say, and I'm not going to say it his words, but the overall takeaway is that the current reserve funding levels are not sufficient to meet future.
That's what we've been saying.
This is the most important thing that I'll say tonight. The current reserve funding levels are not sufficient to meet your future projected expenses. So one of the primary cost drivers, which we've already heard about a little bit, was the stormwater infrastructure. This is the single most significant issue affecting the Fairfield Harbour stormwater is the stormwater drainage infrastructure. Preliminary projections are projecting stormwater related costs will be approximately $5 million over the next 5 years.
$5 million over 5 years in stormwater costs on top
So
of
you're probably wondering
building
why is
built
this occurring?
they're sitting in.
I think we touched on that a little bit already too, that Fairfield Harbour was developed in the 70s. So that makes this community and the stormwater system over 50 years old. Stormwater infrastructure is largely underground, which means the problems are often remain unseen until the failure occurs. So repairs tend to be costly and urgent once the problem does surface. These challenges are common in older communities like this, and we see a lot of them in North Carolina that are about the same age that are going through this. So you guys aren't alone. I'm doing another job here in Newbern, and they have a real similar problem. So it's localized and all over the state. Some of the constraints that this association faces, though, are that your governing documents limit what the board and the association can do to pay for these. You guys can't have a special assessment. So that means that their only other recourse, I guess, is to just have your regular assessments or dues go
Ginger,
up.
point
You
taken.
have to do more long-term financial planning to get ahead of this stuff and to try to plan right. You have to phase and do projects and execution when possible. So this makes being proactive, like using a reserve study and just better planning, makes that even more important. But you've got a lot of important positives and
I'm gonna
strengths
lose my
for
mind.
Fairfield Harbour. I don't want
It's gonna
be
happen.
all doom and gloom. You have a large homeowner base. The community has over 2,800 homeowners. So this allows the capital costs to be spread out
I feel
across
like
many
they're about to
owners.
tell us our dues are going up.
While the total costs are significant, the per household impact is far more manageable than in smaller communities. For example, that $5 million that I mentioned for the infrastructure, stormwater infrastructure, if you spread that out over the 2,800 homes, you're only looking at $1,800 roughly per house. So
Only
you break it down,
$1,800.
that's bad.
Wow.
You also have a very talented and engaged
Same,
board,
Ginger, same. Well, that
and volunteers that
1,000 miles away.
helped out with a lot of the information that I received for the reserve study. Board members are already actively addressing the complex issues, particularly the stormwater challenges. And by having these knowledgeable board members, it's going to improve your decision quality. It's going to help with communication to homeowners, so you guys are in the loop and know what's going on, and it helps with long-term outcomes for the community. And the good news that the board is being proactive in their efforts is that we're not ignoring these issues. They're working on these things. The stormwater concerns are already being studied and addressed, as you can see from the slides that were presented earlier. And our reserve study supports and complements the board's ongoing work. So what else needs to happen now to right this ship? I think first we just have to acknowledge the reality early. Aging infrastructure will not improve on its own. Early planning preserves options and reduces the long-term cost in the end. And then last but not least, Mother Nature and Father Time are undefeated. The docks, the buildings, the roads, the stormwater infrastructure are all deteriorating every day. So the best thing an association can do is have a plan for that. And that includes the reserve study that I did, and to help with future capital repairs and replacements, and to have a plan in place. Gradual and planned funding adjustments, like I said before, you're going to need to have incremental assessment increases, and they'll be less disruptive, and they won't be done in an emergency situation if you just have a planned increase annually. Predictability will help homeowners if you can plan for that, and reduce some frustration. Definitely have to prioritize those stormwater projects. That's not even an option. If those failures happen, they impact the roads, they impact the homes, the property values, and even safety. So these projects should be treated as infrastructure preservation and not a discretionary type spending. So use the reserve study. The study should give you a guide for annual budgeting decisions. Regular updates to this will allow you to adjust conditions and costs and the priorities as they change. And remember, these challenges develop over decades, at least 5.
It happens over decades.
Overnight. So planning spreads out the cost over time and across many of the owners. Doing nothing will typically increase your cost and risk in the long run. I'm going to be here to the end and answer any questions then. So,
Sir, I hope you brought a hard nap. That's,
I'll be back for questions.
you'll be back. You'll be back.
I've already scolded Mike Foster. I'm trying for short reports, okay? You got that? It ain't gonna be. Wayne, thank you.
It's gonna be
Appreciate
real
it.
ugly.
I'm gonna cheat and ask the first question though. How much was it you said we needed to have in the bucket?
We're rounding off at $10 million.
Okay. So when we get in a situation like this, what are we gonna do? You gotta start with the stuff that needs to be done right now, and you gotta start with reserving going forward. And I'm gonna talk about both of those.
Dude,
But before
yes.
I start, let me thank some folks. I'd like to thank Dave Farmeyer, who's an assistant treasurer. He's been a big help in pulling all this together. I want to thank Dan Zimmer, Troon VP of Operations. I want to thank Tom Banwar, Senior Corporate Director of Food and Beverage.
I have not seen the
And all the
research study,
Troon
Mike.
team.
Great
boots on
question.
the
I
ground
will be requesting it
here
as a follow-up
every day.
for this meeting to
We
lead.
appreciate
the
all of you.
Happy to copy
We
the
wouldn't have got it
entire
done without you,
community.
and this
on
truly
that.
takes a village to put one of these together. So where are
God,
we?
so
Where are
I
we
am
going?
so mad right now.
For the turning point, I hope we do the turnaround. Do it
Charlie,
right, we must do it together.
oh my Lord. Oh
We need
my
a lot
Lord.
of participation.
I'm
from
sorry
all
that
of
you're
you.
having a migraine. I hope.
But we're turning from worrying about Harbor Club, using Harbor Club and celebrating it. Oh, we're gonna pay for it too.
Yeah, we're gonna have to pay for it because you signed us up for it.
We're turning toward repairing and rebuilding our community's infrastructure and building resiliency
This is why we're on my channel.
for surviving a natural
So I
disaster.
can say stuff like that.
Returning from a relatively obscure process, I hope, to a relatively transparent process.
Thanks, Lee.
And
I
making
want
things,
transparent.
things we're doing more understandable from a budget point of view is my job.
and I take it seriously. We're turning from a budget that's constructed on P&L statements and balance sheets to a much more simple cash in, cash out approach. Is it legit accounting? It's not real accounting at all. It's a bucket. You measure what you put in, you measure what you took out. But really, that's what you need for a budget. We'll talk about it as we go. I call it sources and uses of funds, and I'm going to show it to you as we get further along. But most importantly to me, budgets are about people, they're about words, they're about plans, and the numbers that result from those plans, not the other way around. We'll still publish a P&L statement
Sorry, I'm
every
so
month.
mad. Charlie, I hope I told you. I hope you're feeling better. Sorry about the mic.
That's a result, not a plan. You don't need to budget things like depreciation, amortization, or EBITDA, and that's probably the last time you'll hear me talk about it in a budget presentation. Those are constructs of the Internal Revenue Service.
EBITDA is a farce.
Words, plans, sources and uses of funds works just fine for budgeting. And it's easier for all of us to talk about and understand. Now, throughout this presentation, I'm going to talk about small changes. Some of them, when you think about them, are going to be big changes. Taken all together, they
For
represent a
those that
turning
have just
point.
joined,
So buckle up. Let's get to work.
let's buckle up. Let's get to work. Come on, Lee. Tell it to us straight.
So what's in this budget? Under our contract with Troon is responsible for presenting an operating
We'll
budget
take
to the
this
board
into
for
your
approval.
bottle.
Dan Zimmer and his team have put together an incredible amount of detail to show how many parts of the operating budget were pretty routine, but some were big deals. And we'll talk about the big deals. For the first time, we have Harbor Club to budget and operate. Dan and his team are going to present a separate P&L for Harbor Club as we go through the year. We'll publish it monthly. We'll be showing you just how good or how bad our initial estimates were. Let me say right here, Mr. Rothenkamp, your estimate's right. He's been saying a long time that we budgeted enough to have it and operate it, and we do. You'll see it here. But those $300 a year dues increases have already been added to your uniform charge. We'll pay for Harbor Club. We should not be coming back to you for additional assessments for Harbor Club.
That's fun.
Those $300 assessments are going to stay, and I'll show you where they go. But we'll believe they will pay the bill. We also have a golf and restaurant operations been wandering around for some while. Been getting a little bit better.
We love that you're here, Wheezy.
Little improvement. When Amanda joined us, that improvement improved. The trajectory changed, and we appreciate that. So when the first Troon draft was presented to the board, we requested two big changes from it. First, we asked that all changes related to the Harbor Club be put into the Harbor Club P&L. We want everything to be right out there in plain sight where everybody can see it. Second, we challenged Troon to reach into their very substantial, and how many golf courses do you guys operate with restaurants? 6,427? It just seems like that. It's literally a couple hundred for Indigo, which is a subsidiary, and a couple of thousand for Troon. These guys do a lot of this work. We pay them for their expertise. We want
You don't need to post the picture from in the
We
room.
challenge to reach into that.
We can talk later. I
management
want to hear how it
expertise
was inside. I want to feel.
and show us what it will take to get the whole operation to net profit by 2029. Why'd I pick 2029? Because that's when their contract comes due for renewal.
2029
Please
contract.
note, I did not say be profitable, because there may be actions needed from the board that we decline to do or simply can't afford. They haven't showed us any yet. Could happen. So when we gave it back to Dan, Tom Van was on the ground in a couple days. He was visiting again, not just for the first time. help with restructuring that part of the budget. It got restructured, it's a whole lot less burdensome for the community. Health and food and beverage budgets were restructured to build from the trajectory we've established the second half of this year. Did they show a profit next year? No, I told you they won't. Okay? But the direction has changed and changed measurably. Remember I said by 2029. Challenge continues, and it's gonna go on, but the revised budget showed a significant improvement. As far as I can tell, we haven't given Troon any real clear profit guidance on what they wanted, on what the board wanted. They've got it now. Have they showed us any steps we won't take or can't afford? No. Gentlemen, you're ahead of me. Don't read ahead. No, you're next. You're good. So we constructed a capital budget based on these priorities. We want to provide funding so this community can survive a Florence. I call it resiliency and recovery from a disaster. We've talked about stormwater. I'm going to talk about it a little more. Stormwater is not stormwater prevention. It's not really stormwater control. It might be stormwater management. Might be getting along with it a little bit. My view is it needs to get out of here once it gets in here. I come from a community in Florida that is literally on average a foot lower to sea level than this place. We drained out 48 hours after Ian. You say, well, that's Ian, okay, fine. Ian came in as a Cat 5, it ran right over my house. They brought 22 inches in about 4 hours rain. It was a nasty storm. We'll talk about storm. And repairing our roads and our streets and all of our other assets on a program we can afford. Starting last summer, I challenged myself to figure out how much we needed to promptly and effectively survive and recover from another Florence. Understand that what I'm going to talk about today is putting the money in place. We've still got planning to do and lots of it. But I'm trying to get
Notice
funds
that
in
none
place
of
so
the
we can do
lots
stuff.
of it planning we've been doing while we
Worst case damage
zeroed in
situation.
on the Harbor Club that just had to go
Total
in.
property and casualty,
move our
insurance
offices.
deductible for everything in the.
But yeah, we got a ton of other shit that needs our
community.
attention.
Be about
Sorry for the language,
$300,000.
but I'm not sorry.
If you have a worst case storm and it tears everything up in here, tears it up bad. If you want it back,
I'm gonna
you pay the
grab my
first
Bible.
300,000. I'm gonna draw on my experience in funding and helping to manage the recovery from Ian for a community similar in size to this, with a whole lot less trees. After Ian, I'm gonna guess that we need another $500,000 to do a thorough recovery, thorough cleanup, thorough debris removal, and all the other stuff you cannot plan for but a hurricane brings to you. Lori mentioned to me that we paid upwards of 1.2 million. Did I get that right? After Florence? Yeah.
Deductible is 500.
There you go. So we beat the deductible down.
If you're so.
Good. Last summer, I challenged the Stormwater Committee to budget and prioritize how to repair our drainage system so that if we get another
Welcome,
Florence,
folks that are just
it
joining.
brings out
Thanks
enough
for being here.
emergency vehicles to be in here in 24 to 48 hours. You heard 2 inches of rain in 4 hours. Well, Florence wasn't 2 inches of rain in 4 hours. You cannot prevent flooding if you live this close to sea level, but you can manage it. Can't control it, but you have to manage it.
Yes.
By those targets, because that's what it takes to keep us all safe, well, and taken care of when we take another hit. Can we do this project in a year, get that money together? No. It's a work in progress, but we're working on a defined goal. I challenge roads and streets to budget and plan how to pave at least a mile, preferably 1.5 miles of new road every year, starting with the worst ones. Where'd 1.5 miles come
A
from?
mile and a half
We got about
every year.
33 miles of roads in here.
And we heard
If
earlier.
you drive down the best mile of the
miles
road
worth
in
of
here,
roads in Fairfield Harbor. So that's like
try
a
to
30-year.
imagine what it's gonna be like in 20 years. You better be ready to do that best mile in 20 years. So today you gotta start with the worst one and drive it down. How do you do that? We've already mentioned you gotta have CWS do some work. We have to do some work. I'm gonna show you how it's structured. I asked all the committees that would respond with their capital needs to provide them too. And all of that stuff came together in the capital budget you see here. And we're gonna share it in
Show up
detail.
with your sleeping
A
bag
little bit of detail.
if we need
Will
it.
it work perfectly? No. It won't.
I'll
We're gonna
need
have to
somebody's
tune and tweak as we
RFID
go.
card to get in. I'm not
You
going down that.
be big boys
train.
and big girls and adjust and move along. But it's a start, it's a plan, and it's a way to go.
For those
The
just.
only part of this plan that is actually approved by the
These
board for
actually in
implementation
the
is the
road, talking
2026
about our
piece of it.
priorities, which
We're
are
gonna
on
do
top
the
of the Harbor
2027
Club.
piece of it next year. But I show out years so you can see
Okay.
the structure of some things. In particular, that we want to show how to do the stormwater work on a street before it gets paved.
I'm gonna
Okay, so
keep
don't
us-
you just take
let me
big
see if I can
spreadsheets
zoom in
and
here.
numbers? I do. So let's do the pieces. Jennifer? Stormwater, please.
Oh, good. He's
Thank
got
you.
it broken out.
Again, these are the big pieces. We've already talked about this, but I'm gonna say it again. Most of our drains, culverts, swales, all need either repair or replacement. Culverts are pipes under our road. And let water go past the road without making the road a dam. Original culverts in here are mostly galvanized steel. How many of your voters, just raise your hand? Is saltwater and steel a good thing?
No.
Okay. Those might last 18 years and they're in a good time, more likely 15. They've been in there a long time and they're getting like this. We have salt in our groundwater. This is one we dug out of the road this year. Now, the problem is both leakage and structure, as we mentioned. It drizzles out and the road collapses. Aside from that, nothing bad happens. But the second photo shows you kind of the dance we have to do when we go in to replace these things. Because if you look closely, there are cables and other people's pipes that we have to thread that culvert in under.
If you got
But,
community
with all that
buy-in
said,
to do this
makes a lot of
before
sense
it
to replace
becomes a
these
problem,
before we pay for
we would
roads.
not be having half the
Not
issues
after.
that we have in Fairfield Harbor.
Swale slide? Good. Who knows what a swale is? This is a swale. If you think about it as a drainage ditch, that's what it is. That's what it does.
And if you have questions about
Rail did
soil
that,
or
I think.
stormwater, Ray
It's
Rednick
a drainage.
is a wonderful
right.
resource. Please reach out to him, especially if you have questions about the runoff
So
or if
some
you
of
have
what we
questions about
needed, I
stormwater, if it
emphasize
drains
this,
into
some
your
of what
yard
we
or you
need.
keep puddles.
We're great
Ray is
invited
a wonderful
developers.
asset for those kinds of questions.
Over years, people would run some of the edges of the berms, down the middle of them, dump dirt in them, dump gravel in them, put in culverts that slope the wrong way. How many more ugly things can you do to a simple drainage ditch? But we've done them all. We let them grow up in vegetation. We got vegetation.
I love that Lee
Major.
tells it like it is. How many other things could we have done
So
wrong?
tomorrow morning, if you don't know what I'm talking about, out and drive across your driveway and look at the culvert in front of your yard. Look at the swale in front of your yard. Does the swale look like that? I don't think so. Does the culvert slope downhill toward the exit? Probably not. They all need work. If I stand on the manhole out by Pelican, I'm 4 feet above sea level. The water's got a long way to go. It's got to have an easy path to take. Floor I'm standing on right here is about 14 feet above sea level. That 10 feet is a really nice refuge after a storm. But you got to get to it. If the water between there and here can be 10 feet deep, might be a problem. All has to work together. So, give me nothing in my backyard, Jennifer. This is what it looked like after Florence, for those of you that weren't here. Some first responders coming in. My accounts from those folks that were here, it took about twice as long as we wanted to drain out. That's a delay on getting emergency vehicles in here. That's a delay on getting a drywall contractor in here. That's a delay on getting a handyman in here if you need that. We don't want that. People that stay here and survive stay in here. We want to come out healthy at the other end. Give me streets and paving, please. Everybody sees our roads. Everybody drives on our roads. Everybody has an opinion. We've talked about it. We've neglected maintenance and repairs in this area. We need to catch up. Only a couple small projects next year. Striving to get both Harbor Point and Gondolier inspected. And to get CWS to complete the repairs that the inspections indicate. Then we would like to pay. Doesn't make much sense. Pave a nice new road and then cut through it to replace the culverts. Security, please. Yes, ma'am. Pieces are cameras, as Larry discussed. And they have asked the budget to add a speed camera.
Speed cameras in front of that
The
building.
funding amount on the chart.
Oh, more speed cameras.
So-
$14,500
so
for
we can plan to be ready
speed
if we need
cameras. Don't spend that money.
Buildings.
Put it towards the reserve fund that we've already announced we were
When you
behind.
buy a new house from a developer, you gotta make a run to Home Depot. Excuse me, you need to make 10 runs to Home Depot in the first week. No bad news on the guys that helped our community build this. We appreciate that effort very much.
Do we though?
But the Home Depot stuff needs to be done now, and it's big Home Depot stuff.
Come on now.
We need to do some parking lot lights. We need to do some boat parking. We probably want to think about
Parking
planning
lot
a generator.
lights
I've added
should come after we
$160,000
fully
in there for
fund
that.
the reserve fund
So-
in the event of a natural
We're showing
disaster of which we
$100,000 a
can't
year for
control.
golf renovations, major repairs, sprinkler systems.
The golf club should be
etc.
able to have enough
I don't have the
capital
details of that yet.
profit
but the
in order
details will
to
have
fund their
presented
own
to the board.
repairs.
But this is what we're budgeting.
Have a bake sale. That's what we used to do back in the day.
Jennifer, contribution, thank you.
We need to sell 100,000
Again,
books at
this
a dollar.
deserves a much higher priority than we've given it. And here's how we plan to stage the contributions from you via an emergency assessment initially,
So there's going to be an
combined with
emergency
proceeds from
assessment.
general dues revenues. This covers insurance deductibles for the worst case storm, debris cleanup, emergency
I didn't
supplies,
even have a board, y'all.
and anything else a disaster might
Honestly.
throw at us.
Help me
Done
understand.
in about
I'm
6
dumb.
years.
Help me understand.
But we have to do a soft start, a slow start. And there are two really good reasons here. Reason one is the community is going to reject the shock of the size of contribution we need to do to get this on course right away. And the other is, quite honestly, we're not prepared to manage that big and that many projects the first year.
It would be amazing if
We
you
need
had a
to practice
project
doing some
manager
projects and get them going.
like myself
And once we start to
that would
roll, I think we
volunteer
can
their
really
time
roll.
to manage some of these projects within or under budget within a certain
Statement of
timeline.
reserve, somebody, one of my
report
sharp
out
eyed
on
readers
financially speaking.
called me up and says, Lee, you didn't put a statement of reserve balances in here. I said, you're right. I still don't have it. I'm missing the year-end balance right now. Missing it for two reasons. One of them is I'm missing the current balance.
He has no current balance.
I know budgeted. I've avoided making contributions to reserves so far because I've been worried about our cash situation. I think we're gonna be okay on cash, so I'm gonna start making contributions. I will publish this data in a future Your Money Matters newsletter.
Thank you, Lee.
You can count on that. But in the meanwhile, I'll just let you know that we're adding $137,000 to our general reserve earmarked for storm. And we're not spending anything. How are we doing that? We're gonna handle these big projects on the P&L. I think Wayne will agree with this. I haven't asked him. Put him on the spot.
Who are we trying to agree with? Wayne?
But since we know what they're gonna cost, and we're gonna do them in the first year, there's really no reason to put that money in a bucket and then draw out of the bucket. He's nodding his head up and down for all you guys can't see.
Yeah, we
I feel a whole lot better. But the projects we've identified for this year, and we're gonna fund this year, gonna fund out of this year's, receipts. Just run them as a P&L item. Provides you a lot better clarity and a lot better tracking, a lot better accountability. So,
My blood pressure's going up.
Dan Zimmer's gonna present our operating budget. As I said, he's consolidated all the operating summary. He will talk about golf and restaurant and everything else. No challenge there, Dan. I want to hear that everything else. But first, let's see how operating and capital budgets fit together. And look at it.
Is somebody, or Ginger, is somebody laughing? Please tell me.
Total funds available to us.
Am I laughing? Is it me? At the
I got a little
ridiculousness of it all?
There you go. Total funds available, $5,734,276. Uniform dues collected, $3,924,733. Golf and restaurant receipts, $1,504,000. That's the second biggest piece. Non-dues revenue, third biggest piece of the pie. Marine, etc. $398,000. And what we're asking for is a community contribution.
That
to the
non-dues
emergency
revenue
fund.
also includes all the fines people get for the
337,858
contractors that are
this year.
putting things on
Next
their
slide,
property and the
How are we gonna
speeding
spend it?
fines, all that stuff. They just didn't want to put on that
You
slide.
spend the most money by a pretty significant margin on golf and food and beverage right now. How's that work? You take money
I
in,
wish a board
you
member
spend
would.
money, you run the operation,
I wish.
and at the end, it comes through as a subsidy for the homeowners.
A subsidy for
POA
the homeowner.
operation, $1,257,586. That's Jennifer's office and all the stuff we run through it.
Jennifer's office.
We run a
It's
lot
not
more
our
stuff through Jennifer's
office
office than they do it
as
for Mexico,
property
I think.
owners. It's Jennifer's office.
But that's the
What?
POA operations. Capital projects would be $1,121,900. Harbor Club
Especially when they just moved to
operations.
our harbor
budgeting
club, which we are paying for, and we paid
835,689.
Jennifer's salary. And I know
Community
I'm talking over
maintenance,
him, and I'm sorry, but holy
mowing,
shit, like
flowers,
Jennifer doesn't
flower
even
beds,
live here. If you
and
think about
everything
the
else that
Clueless
Will and
movie,
his crew
she
do for
doesn't
us.
go here. It's not our office.
571,624.
It's our office.
Golf, cost of goods sold. I have no idea how it
Cost
gets out
of
here in
goods
the
sold.
statements, but that's where it is.
We sell
It's
$230,000 worth of
$230,945.
shit out of the golf club.
Capital lease, which is the mowers.
I love you golfers. Y'all
The golf
spend
carts,
crazy amounts of money on things.
Those things. Annual commitment, $167,948.
I can't afford golf
Emergency funds,
clubs. I afford wine.
$137,000. So, that's where it comes from, that's where it goes. How big a check did each of us get to write this year? Let's talk about it. First column of numbers is your 2025-2026 situation. Your 2025-2026 uniform charge was $1,595. There was a $200 deferred emergency contingency. So we collected $13.95. A little bit different timing. We had an emergency assessment for legal fees of $50. So the total paid for by you was $1,445 by me too. The board will introduce a resolution to increase our uniform charge by 2.7% this year and by the cost of living index increase
Don't call this cost of
every
living.
year
You
consecutive to
increased our
that,
cost
with a
of
cap
living with a fucking building we didn't
5%.
ask for.
Everybody knows what to budget for now. The dues payers know what to budget for, and so do the folks who are planning to use those dues. So that $15.95 escalated 2.7% becomes $16.38. I've been talking about an emergency fund. We're going to generate that emergency fund by giving $150
I'm literally having heart
allowance,
palpitations.
where we did 200 last year. You can think of it as $50 extra. You can think of it as $50
You can think of it as
less.
$50 extra. And if
but
you
that's the way
pay
it comes
in
out.
to the internet in
Total
Fairfield
paid by
Harbour,
you
that
will be
also gives
$14.88.
$20 additional per
Total
month,
paid by me will be
$240 a year
$14.88.
to the board on top of your dues that you're
Total increase
voluntarily
versus last year's
volunteering.
$43.
You're now getting $16.38
I think we're on the right track.
plus your $240
There's a big presentation on front steps, which is a narrative, a
or
bunch of
whatever, like
spreadsheets,
what have you.
and you're welcome to go through them. They've got a lot more detail in them
I
than
hope you
this
give
does.
serious consideration to that
But if
internet.
I went through that much level of detail, we'd have to order pizza now.
We can't
not
afford
budget.
pizza for your meeting.
So
Fund the reserve fund.
I appreciate the privilege of your time tonight,
Lee,
and let's move this
my
meeting
frustration is
forward
not directed at you.
together.
Love you. Love your newsletter updates. Appreciate your communication. Thank you for your transparency. But holy shit. I hope everybody that has the new internet service calls tomorrow and cancels it. Optimum is a great source. The satellite internet.
Well,
good evening, it's
Anywhere
pleasure to be
else
here.
but giving additional
We
budget
did a pretty
money
good job of talking through a
to
lot of our budget
people
already,
in our
so
board when
that
we're already increasing.
eases into this conversation. We'll jump into a little bit more detail on each of the different areas. Just a high level how we approach the budget. It's broken down into four different categories. So we budget the POA, the community landscaping, or the harbor club here, and then the golf course operations. And then within the golf course operations, we break that out between golf operations and the restaurant food and beverage
Who's speaking?
operations. And so we'll dive into those here.
Starlink,
The
yeah.
entire team was, on-site team was involved in putting the budget together. So Jennifer, Amanda, Will, Chris, Michelle, all the
I
supporting
wish I
staff
could
here
zoom in. I cannot zoom
were
in.
highly involved in putting together the budgets for their respective areas. So starting with the POA budget, again, so this is based off of $1,438 billed for 2,785 lots, and we're budgeting at a 98% collection rate. The current year collection rate, we're over 99%, so we feel very comfortable in the amount that we have budgeted for next year. So that's where the $3,924,733 comes
We
from.
need to put some wine in a Yeti tumbler.
When we look at the POA non-dues revenue, part of that is from Host America Fiber, which we're expecting that to grow this year, next year. So far this year, through December, we had collected just over 10,000. We plan to do a marketing push next year that could,
I can't make this bigger. I wish I
we're
could, but
budgeting just over $36,000 for
you
that.
got an email yesterday.
Rental income, right now, we did not factor in any increases in rent for any of the facilities. That could be an opportunity if we decide to increase that, or the board decides to increase that. Also, the POA building, the offices that we moved out of, there is maybe a potential opportunity to lease that space as well. The marine income is also expected to go up this year, since all the renovations have been
Everybody
completed,
say
and we're
hi.
budgeting
My
at
friend Amy in
$90,000
Oriental is saying
in
hi.
operating income in next year's budget. The remaining balance of the 398 is made up of traffic violations, land development, administrative fees for sold properties, realized collection of storage fees, lot sales, lot mowing, fines, and late fees, and maybe a few other miscellaneous areas. So that's what makes up 398,423. When we look at the expenses, we're not really changing anything significant in the on the expense side of things. Most of them were increased by about 3%, with the exception being
Don't go to
water, where we increased that
This comment,
10% year over year.
don't go to sleep. This is important. And
We
can't
also,
make this
one
bigger.
change on the labor side, we are budgeting to hire a
That'll be
part-time
feedback that I get.
coordinator
Can we
for
zoom in
events at the
more?
Harbor Club. That person may also be able to handle some marketing responsibilities in other areas as well. So in total, that takes the net revenues with the POA dues collected, the emergency contingency, and the non-dues revenue to $4,461,014, and the total expenses just over 1.257 million.
I can't believe that we have close to $5 million in revenue and cannot manage our budget.
The community maintenance budget, so the total
And I know
expenses
we have
here is
things to do.
$571,624.
And we have things that other people committed us to. I am
Which is
just appalled.
pretty close to in line with what we're forecasting to spend for this year. That breakdown,
Maybe
you can
this
see the
lawsuit
bulk of
will
that
be
is in
successful,
payroll.
with the
Will
certain
and
folks
the
that are in the
excellence
middle
team
of that,
he
and we'll
has
get our
assembled, in order
assessment back from
to
last year that was $50. They've got to be having internet issues in the new clubhouse. That's fun.
find and repairing safety
It
hazards
comes
and
and
keeping
goes.
buildings and
Thank you for
amenities
those that are
functioning
joining. I'm
properly.
so glad you're here.
For the landscaping,
Please
working
like
on
and
leveling,
subscribe
improving
to
turf
this channel
coverage
if you
around
haven't already.
entrances. This will improve the quality of cut and reduce wear and tear
Our
on
goal
mowers,
here is to
and
basically do
better
everything
turf.
that the board is doing.
We are
to allow
factoring
for
in
comments so we can
compensation
understand
increases for
how
all of
people in the
existing
community
staff,
feel about
as they
what's
go
happening,
through
so that we
annual
can give
review
that feedback
process.
back to the community.
All labor for the, I'll go a little bit in detail on this. The way that the staff that Will has assembled will also do the maintenance for the Harbor Club
Is a
here.
chunk of
So
change
the way
and
that
nothing
this
to
is
do with us,
budgeted
but we
for is it's all
were
done
assessed a
through
$50
the,
assessment last
community
year
maintenance
in order
budget,
to
and
help fund the board
percentages
with the
allocated
POA.
towards
They
the
didn't have
Harbor
the
Club
money with
based
the
off
new
of
clubhouse that
what
they
we
were building.
anticipate for
And so we
the
all
labor
paid in
use from that team.
$50. It was a
So
special
right now, we're
assessment
budgeting for
to pay the legal
20%
fees for this.
next
And
year. That's
I,
something that
for
obviously as
one,
we
that
get
was
into the
illegal,
season and
uncalled
use of this
for,
facility,
and
that'll
it
be
is in the
adjusted based
second
off of
amended
what the
complaint
actual use
a
of
request to give that money
facility is.
back
But
to
that's
the
how we
property
approach the
owners within
budgeting
Fairfield
for
Harbor.
the
And I
labor
hope
piece.
that is successful. Hopefully it will go to
And then
trial,
ultimately,
and
we
we
want
will
to make
have
sure
a
we're making repairs and
jury of
freshening
our
paint and needed as
jury of our
needed to the current
peers
buildings and all
to
the structures
be
owned
able
by
to
the
tell us
POA.
what's right.
The Harbor Club budget. So you can see the largest expense here is the debt service. So of the $835,000 expense for the Harbor Club, just over $712,000 is for debt service.
Well, I can tell you for
and then
one,
also the payroll.
would love to have a
is,
conversation with you about this.
Is the
because
next largest
for
area.
every fine
When you look at the
give
debt
to
service and
you, I
operating
give
costs for the
10
building,
times that fine
it's about a
to the United Fairfield Harbor
$330,000
Group. 10 times.
additional cost that
And
we're
I'm not made
budgeting
of
for
money,
next
but
year
it's
compared
important
to
for me.
what
Like, yeah,
is
fine,
being
I'll pay you
spent
$50
this year.
assessment and pay the legal
Most
fees.
of that is
But
debt
the
service, and
principle,
also
what we are
the
going
operating
after,
costs
which
as
is
the
fairness in the
building comes
bylaws,
online, and then the
which is
additional
a
insurance
voice
costs
for our
for it as well.
community, is more important
We
to
are
me
building in a
than the
new building
$50
technician
assessment
and
POA
custodian
fine. If
position.
the POA and the
And the
board was
majority of
acting
their
with
time will be spent
integrity, we
in
wouldn't
the
even
Harbor Club
have the
here,
lawsuit to begin
maintaining
with. The
and
board could
keeping the
cancel this
facility
lawsuit at
up
any
to the level
time
that everybody
by
expects it.
going back and putting the
You know,
bylaws
ultimately,
the way
you know,
they
the
were before they
bathrooms
interjected
need
the
to be cleaned
supermajority.
and
That's all I'm
sanitized
going to say
daily.
on that.
Floors,
We are
walls,
not having
windows cleaned
paper.
regularly,
I spent 6
which
hours the
more
other
than
night
doubles what the
overnight
current janitorial
retyping a
needs
bullshit
have been for the
piece of
facility.
Excel file that was
We're also
given
adding
as a lawsuit because the
landscaping
board
around
sent it in
the
such a way
areas
that it was
that will be hard to
undecipherable by
maintain
any
turf, so
OCR
just
logic.
putting
I
landscaping
retyped the
to
entire
reduce the
43
time
pages.
that it takes it from a
Crazy.
labor perspective.
I
We're
hope,
also planning to add
and I cussed
landscape
out the board the
lighting
entire time.
to
I
help
did.
improve safety
Like,
for those
this
using
is
the property
bullshit.
at
You
night.
did this on purpose. You literally took a
The building
picture
will
and
also
sent
add
it
more handwork to the
to the
landscaping than
lawyer
compared to
for the
prior years. A
plaintiffs
lot of
in this
sidewalk
format to
edging and
make it
small turf areas
undecipherable.
between sidewalks that
Trust.
require push mowing, so
That's
it's just more labor
I got
intensive to
nothing but
maintain the
time.
area.
Nothing.
And then also we need to budget for fertilizers, pre-emergence, growth regulators, and herbicides needed to keep the landscaping and
And for
turf
those
looking the
that
way that
didn't
everybody
ask for that as
expects.
part of this budget meeting, I'm sorry.
So we're gonna start with the, just talking about the golf club budget combined, and then we'll jump in and break it out between golf operations and food and beverage. So as you can see, total revenue for the golf and restaurant is just over $1,504,000. The cost of sales for both golf and food and beverage of just under $231,000. So total gross income of $1.273 million. And then you can look at the operating expenses, and obviously
We may not
payroll
have
being
enough
the
data
largest
for this
expense
question
at,
yet, Ginger, but
just
I will
over
certainly include it in my email to Lee after this
and
budget
total
meeting.
expenses totaling
Good question.
$1.642 million. When we look at the revenue and how that's broken down, the golf revenue, just over $909,000. Of that, $297,445 is membership dues, $478,100 is green fees and park fees, just over $30,000 in range revenue, and merchandise revenue of $77,000.
And Anahata, I don't know who.
The
you are in
total golf
person,
and
but
labor
my
expenses
point
is
to
just
comment
over
earlier was not
$1.217
correct.
million,
Question is
and so the
100%
operating income
settled
for the
on
golf
the board.
operation is a subsidy
you
of
stay.
just over
Thanks for being here.
$358,000. When we look at the food and beverage area, the food and non-alcoholic beverage revenue is budgeted at just over $374,000, and alcohol just under $209,000. Total F&B labor and expenses is $424,698. You also have to factor cost of sales in there, and that's what takes the F&B operating income to a loss of just under $11,000.
Charlie.
So digging a little bit deeper into the golf operations, you can see that chart in the bottom
Comments on the inside. There's
shows
a
what
lot
the
playing up
golf
here that's not
revenue
coming
is
out here.
going back for the last 5 years. The $508,550 that we're budgeting for green fees, cart fees, and range revenue next year is a 14% increase over what we're forecasting for this year. So how are we going to do this? And we'll jump into a little bit more detail on the following slides. But continuing to drive APR, the average rate, by increasing our rates during peak demand times, specifically on the weekends. And we also would recommend implementing dynamic pricing, which would adjust the pricing based off of utilization. So highest demand times, the rates would increase, similar to if you're purchasing a plane ticket. If the demand is high, the cost of the ticket increases. From a membership perspective, we're building in we're factoring in a net gain of 17 memberships. This will require adding between 20 and 25 to account for the natural attrition.
We need a net gain of
happens throughout the
17
year.
memberships.
We are not
Which is
planning
additional
to
20 to
increase
25
the full golf
members.
membership fees.
How are
but
17
planning an
memberships
8%
20 to
increase
25
for
members?
Weekday and weekend
Y'all gotta help
memberships.
me. I'm not a golfer.
So on the marketing side of things, we did build in money to increase the digital advertising, so paid social campaigns, really targeted campaigns to key demographics in the area. Those of you that do not have the course app downloaded, we would encourage you to do so. Currently, there's 257 people that have downloaded that app. That's a great tool for us. About 50% of those individuals have push notifications turned on, so we can communicate and push out specials or promotions or communications to them. Our goal is to double that number of app users next year. We want to also increase our Facebook followers by 20%. Currently, we have just over 1,200 Facebook followers. Want to continue to stay active. That's a great tool to communicate with residents and people in the area. And same with Instagram, which is smaller right now. we've got less than 100 followers on Instagram. We want to continue to push that and
Question.
build them as
I
well.
don't know if I can add a poll. I don't know how to add a poll.
Another key
Can
aspect
you
is
use
increasing
Facebook,
participation in events,
Instagram,
specifically
Snapchat,
member
TikTok?
events.
What can
And we
you
plan to
do
do this
to
by
be able to
engaging
follow
the
what's
golf
happening in the
advisory
community?
committee
Do you
to gain
even
ideas
follow
and
the
feedback,
community with
and
social
then make
media?
sure
I'm
that we're
curious. Let
communicating
me see if I
details
can
at
figure
least
out how to add
45
a
days
poll.
in advance. If you went to the website right now, you'd see that a lot of the events are posted up there, and we want to make sure everybody has the information and can register for the events. We feel like we made strides on that this year in providing a better experience, and just want to continue that next year. Also planning to increase the reciprocal rate from $36 to $4 to match what our competitors are doing in the area, and then also increasing the outing fees from $36 to $40, no, up to $40. Apology, up to $36. Sorry. Except for some of the charity events, which we do at a little bit lower cost. And then ultimately, golf rounds and golf revenue is going to be driven by.
I'm going to step away for a second. I will be right back. Hold one second.
Provide resources to Chris, who does a wonderful team. Chris and his team do a great job, and continuing to make improvements to the golf course. Going a little bit in more detail on our pricing strategy. I know this is just a bunch of numbers up on the screen and hard to read. This will be made available, but what the chart in the center is a heat map showing the amount of rounds that we play each day of the week by time of day. And so what we see is the darker green areas are where we have high demand or high play, which we see the highest play on Saturday, excuse me, Saturday and Sunday mornings. And we saw a really strong increase in public play year over year, and feel that we have an opportunity to increase rates during that time. That may be a good area to start with implementing dynamic pricing, so that we can segment that to only have dynamic pricing on weekday or weekend mornings, and then that will drive the rate up based off how close the tee sheet is and what the demand is.
There are also some new golf businesses
and then from an expense side of things, the staffing in the golf operations
that allows for golfing
approximately club
indoors, so
manager,
that people
golf
can
professional,
golf
which
regardless
hasn't been
of
filled this
weather.
year, but we're looking forward to
Indoors.
filling that next year. Pro shop attendance and seasonal card attendance. No major changes in our expense model. We're factoring in 2 to 3% increases based on inflation and vendor price increases. Our marketing expenses include increasing our digital advertising, which I talked about earlier, and also building in funds for collateral printing, websites, online reputation management, graphic design, and our true marketing support. Credit card processing fees, we budget this as we budget the expense as 3% of revenue. We are collecting service charges on those credit card transactions when people are paying, and we're budgeting to offset that by collecting 2% of revenue in service fees. So the net impact on that is an expense of $15,284. The maintenance labor is up about 9.5% compared to the fiscal year 26 budget. That number is a little bit skewed because we shifted how we are allocating some of the labor burden. So the benefits and payroll taxes, which may have fallen under general and administrative expenses in the past, are now allocated to each of the departments. So there are no general and administrative expenses. So that is causing the increase. But when you look at just direct labor, we're doing just normal pay increases for the staff year over year. Expenses, including the equipment leases, are up 14% over the current year budget, which equates to approximately $27,500. A lot of this is in repairs and maintenance in our aging equipment. We've got a fleet that's coming close to the end of its term. So the older the equipment gets, the more repairs that it needs, and then everything is getting continues to get more expensive, from fertilizers, chemicals, and other supplies to maintain, of course. So that covers golf operations. And jumping into food and beverage operations, Again, that chart on the bottom shows the revenue over the last 5 years. So we're budgeting for the food and alcohol revenue just over $583,000, which is a 14% increase. You could say that that is aggressive growth on the food and beverage side, but if you look back a couple of years and where it was in 22, 23, 23, 24, restaurant revenue at that time was over $600,000. Amanda
there is
and the
indoor
team have
golf
done a
in
really good
New Bern.
job this year of elevating the
Well, yeah, not
experience.
in Fairfield
creating
Harbor, but in New
consistency,
Bern. I
and
actually
we
know the
want to
guy
build
who
off
just
that next
opened
year
the
and continue
company,
to grow.
and he's done a lot. He built the
When we look at hours of operation, you can
system
see what we're
for
planning for
measuring
now.
range and
but
accuracy,
hours of
the holes,
operation,
the putts, all
we
the
plan to
things.
adjust those
So if you're
seasonally to
interested
maximize
in getting
revenue
in
and
touch with him,
manage
I'm
labor
happy to
expenses.
connect you. He
So
is
we're not proposing
wonderful
that
to
we
work
just reduce the hours of operation or add hours of operation. That's going to be based off of
girl,
when we're able
don't
to
pay credit
generate
card
the
fees.
most
I'm not
revenue.
even
So
in
if
the
we
state
see
of
that
North
there's
Carolina. I'm
areas,
8,000 miles
and
away,
even
and
after our
can get a
marketing
payment to the
initiatives and
office
trying to
and
push
pay.
revenue,
Don't pay
that
credit card fees.
it's
Okay.
doesn't make
Don't do
sense to stay open until 9 o'clock because the revenue that last hour is very low. We may adjust those hours of operation because our focus is on getting
Charlie,
the
that's a
restaurant to
wonderful
profitability.
idea.
We also plan to refresh
You
lunch
know
menus
that
at
there
least
is, I
twice a
just saw
year
this
with
yesterday,
regular
there is
smaller
a zoo,
modifications based off of season
I
and
forget what
product
state
pricing.
it's
We
in,
do see some
but you can buy
volatility
a
and
cockroach
changes
with a
in
person's
food
name
costs, so
on
I
it,
want to be able
and
to
they will
adjust
send
to
you a
that.
video
We'll
of
continue
that
with
cockroach
trivia every
being
Wednesday,
fed
every
to a
other
zoo
Wednesday night.
animal.
Planning to increase
There's
fish
so
fry
many
pricing
ways to
by
raise money
$1,
for this community
prime rib
that we are not
Saturday
tapping
and rib
into, but
prime rib
100%, if you
prime rib
put
Saturday
these
and
golf
rib
balls
night
at $5
on the
a
opposite
piece,
Saturday,
I would
and
buy
then
a
music to
bucket of
continue
golf
on Thursday
balls,
nights. We
put
may adjust that timing based
4
off of
names on all of
seasonality
them,
during the
just
slower
rotate them
times of
through,
year.
however many balls
And
you
then
get.
we'll continue to have events supporting
I will
the holidays each month.
funding.
On the
for
expense side of things, we're budgeting a
holidays.
blended cost of goods
For
sold of
sure.
31%. That is in line or even slightly below industry average when you look at golf club. So again, that's going to be based off of achieving proper portion control, make sure we're building the menu appropriately and rotating the menu and setting the menu prices accordingly. The staff is comprised of a chef, front of house manager, line cooks, servers, and bartenders, which
I've
is
already
current with,
submitted some
which
money
is
to the
consistent with the current
cockroach
year.
zoo animal.
We are budgeting just over 30.
I don't even know what state
look
it's in or
at,
what zoo. I just saw it
We
and I
try
was
to
like,
budget
yes,
labor as a
yes, I
percentage
have
of revenue.
people that you.
So right now, we're just
you
over
think people
38% labor as a percentage of our food and beverage revenue. Industry average would be,
Ooh.
around 40% or
I'm not
slightly
an old
below.
fashioned whiskey person,
I
but
see
when
some
I'm
people,
back in North
shaking their
Carolina,
head no,
me and your
but,
wife meet up, I would
when I
love
say
to just
industry average, I'm
have
specifically
drinks.
talking about golf clubs.
Mhm.
If you have a
We can
standalone restaurant, that's
single-handedly increase
in a
their
different area, that may be different,
immediately.
different model. But that's a benchmark in the golf club industry. No major changes in the expense model, again, factoring 2 to 3% increases. Same
All right, you guys, fill them up.
strategy on the marketing side, and then same thing with credit card processing fees. So appreciate the time to go through that, and then I'll turn it back over to the
Thank you
board.
so much for your time and the numbers. Hopefully they're right.
While you're setting up to handle questions and answers, I've got just a few, thank you, Dan. I've got just a few things I want to add, sort of in conclusion and wrap up. What you heard tonight was a summary of a summary of a summary of a summary. Maybe I need one more summary, I don't know. There's a huge amount of detail in this. Is it all perfect? No. You know that. But it shows us the way. If you want to know more detail, I'll refer you to Wayne's reserve study, which we're going to put out on front steps. I encourage you to print the big version of it, not the executive summary. You can keep it on your nightstand when you can't go to sleep at night, because it is that detailed, right?
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
But there are different levels of detail available to you. We will put the reserve study out. the full budgets and the narratives that go with them. If you haven't picked those up on front steps, we deliberately wrote some pretty detailed narratives to share a lot of the assumptions that went into this, a lot of the planning that went into it, and you can begin to see the way things are starting to mature. Please, if you haven't read those, go through them if you're interested. If you're gonna send me a question that says, how many paper clips did Jennifer buy last year? I'm gonna refer you to.
We don't care about how
another
many paper
spreadsheet.
clips Jennifer needed. It was likely
More Visine.
less than 2,800.
I think we can break this presentation down by speakers and publish it on the front steps. The way Jennifer's put it together, I promise you it's gonna be too big a file to go on there.
It
Would you
is
like
so
to see
many
it broken
windows.
down and
I
published,
wonder if there's
or
a
are the
storm,
documents we put
like
out
an
sufficient?
evacuation plan in the
Break it down and
windows.
publish it?
Is asked
Yes,
for
no,
when
raise
people
your
are at
hand.
work. There has to be one, right? Our insurance would require it. Oh, sorry, I didn't hear the question
Okay.
or point.
And maybe we can get the big operation spreadsheets punched out. I just don't know, but I promise you I'll try.
Lee, allow
I'm
me.
gonna
I'm
hand
happy to
over
help
to
get
Q&A.
anything in a shareable format.
It's all.
I think the way we're gonna handle the question and answers tonight on the budget is to, bring in, Wayne Johnson first. If you have questions about his portion of it, go ahead and ask your questions. We'll then bring up Dan Zimmer and let him answer questions. And then we'll
This
bring
is
up
our
Lee to answer any other
neighborhood.
questions on the
We
budget.
should have questions. This is bullshit what we've heard this evening. Not bullshit. We knew it was coming. Still
Questions for
bullshit.
me? Question regarding the reserve shortfall. Where does that number come from? Does it come from your accounting firm? Does it come from the rules and regulations of the POA? Or is it like state mandated? Where does it?
We're asking what defines the reserve fund deficit that we've seen.
It's a combination of all of those things that you said, basically. The site inspection, we develop a list of all the components that the association is responsible for, which if my memory's right, it's around 300 different components that the association and by the bylaws is responsible for maintaining. So we do a site inspection, come out and look at all of them, assess their current remaining useful life, and go out 30 years and look at where each one of them is going to fail and when it needs to be replaced. And then all those calculations go in together to come up with, if you were 100% funded right this minute, and if you could replace anything that was deteriorated up to this point, then you would have right at $10 million in your reserve fund. Now, I'm not going to tell you that hardly any associations have that. If you're in the 30 to 70% funded range, you're probably doing just fine, and that's kind of a threshold that you should shoot for, maybe 50%. But you guys operate a little different, and I completely understand that. And I'm just giving you the numbers the way we do it, the way we're supposed to do it based on CAI and industry standards. Does that answer your question?
So the number comes from your company?
Yes.
Yes.
There's no.
Comes from additional.
POA.
Ooh, if Blake Shelton lived in our
Oh, yeah,
neighborhood,
there's input both
That would
ways
be
involved. If
amazing.
you've got if I
About
put down
that.
that the asphalt's gonna cost
Sounds
$40 a
bad.
square yard to
Dang.
patch and repair, and you've got a bid from a reputable person that you know will do it for 30, I wanna change it and put $30 in. So anything like that, but unless you've got
that's a selling
Quote or
point
estimate.
for a
I'm gonna be an expert first,
marketing
but then if
broker.
there's a quote, I'm gonna go with it. Sorry for that long answer.
Gosh, we need to have them identify themselves.
Have questions, folks. We're gonna send ours out.
Anyway. Dan, come up and maybe ask any
Anybody
questions
else
for
have
Dan
a
Zimmer,
hard time
please.
Don asked people to
Looking at
identify
Dawn.
themselves when they stand up.
When you speak. That's the question.
I just have a hard time looking at Dawn
If you didn't identify yourself when you stand up,
last
please.
year. Come on, stand up. Good.
I acknowledge the fact that I do not see very well, but I thought I saw about the construction road that we have. Is that the construction road that's on Caracara? There was something about the construction.
Yeah.
I see that?
Yeah, whizzes.
Did I see that? Okay.
She needs to identify herself.
She doesn't understand.
Tell us who you are, please.
And my question is.
No, tell us who you are, please.
My name is Doreen Lamont.
Thank you,
Y'all,
Doreen.
whenever they say,
The construction road is
tell
a
us who you
placeholder.
are and where you
Future
live and
board
how long
action.
you've lived here,
To estimate.
don't
funds.
answer those
It is
questions.
not
They're even live streaming
approved
this
by the board.
themselves, and you're just
It's in a
making that
future
publicly
year.
available on YouTube.
It's not part of 2026.
My question is there a plan for that to remain a road, or is that going to go back to being a lot?
I'm gonna try it maybe a little differently. It is not a plan yet. Okay?
It is not a plan yet.
Yeah. Yeah.
File
It anticipates having money in place in case the board makes a future decision.
Well, hopefully we'll have a new board. Sorry, that was an inside thought.
Alice, Fairfield Place. On your capital
Through the same gate.
plan, line, I go to my notes, line 20. How come Columbus Court is listed twice? And Columbus Court is 140 yards long as a $500,000. And then it's listed again in a group with Kia Court. Was that an oversight, or is there some plan in that?
So we're talking about the Roads and Streets
That's
Committee.
an oversight. We'll pick up the roads as they're the worst and the readiest.
The worst
Since it
and
was
the
twice,
readiest.
though, I didn't know.
No, it's an oversight. I'm sorry. Okay? I lost, there's another attendee in here that will tell you we lost $500,000 the first pass. So, Joe?
Wow. All right. Can't tell if that was a shot taken with the smile and the tongue out.
Cara. Lee had published a statement, not financial, but a statement in October stating that at that point, he estimated that there was a $248K loss on the golf course. Did I hear you correctly, sir, and said that you anticipated 358 for year end for the golf course?
Yeah, and I'm not sure what you were, if that was a year-to-date loss, like the year-to-date financials at that time.
When they published?
Yeah,
Well, obviously, it would have been probably a 930 close.
right, yeah, so the,
It should have been a year-to-date, you're correct.
yeah, so we're budgeting next year, let me just make sure I have it correct, I think it's $368,000 loss, between the two golf, and food and beverage operation, which will be, improved over what the year-end number will be this year.
Okay, well, that's kind of problematic since you can't separate the golf course from the restaurant.
Oh,
I'll ask
yes.
that question in a second.
Oh, it's separated,
That means for the
$358,000 for golf and $10,000 for food.
$110,000 loss.
Say that again?
If Lee's calculation of 248 at 6 months is even in the ballpark, and you're predicting 358 by year end in February, you're telling me that we only have $110,000 loss for the last 6 months of the year?
Yeah, I think we're talking about two separate things. We're talking, well,
Just
yes,
loss on
because
the
we're talking
golf
about the
course
budget
restaurant
for next
business.
year.
Of
Of 360.
What do you anticipate the loss will be for this fiscal year for the golf course?
I think it will end up, just over $400,000.
$400,000.
A $400,000 loss.
Make the
on the
debt
golf
service
course.
on this building, we'd only have to come up with 314 then. Okay. What I'm trying to get at is, number one, it's very hard to figure out what's going on with the golf course, the restaurant, and the marinas in your financials that you produce. Do you have the capability to separate out a sub P&L for those three entities?
Yes, which I believe it's provided now, so yes, we can
That is
provide
part of our
clarity on that.
dues.
Okay, so can you state now that you'll be able to do that for our year end?
I can state that next year's budget will certainly.
Not the budget, sir, the year end, the
Yes.
actual results.
The
of how you
actual,
did
not the
as a
budgeted.
management company for these entities.
This is a question.
Yes, we can break out food, beverage, and golf.
Because these people.
But when the
only way they
restaurant
can
golf
figure out
course
what
take a
they're
loss,
spending
our
the
dues
money
go
on
to fund to
is
keep
by
them
separate P&L, that will flow into the
is
consolidated.
what I have ascertained while living here since 2021.
You got a list of questions?
That's about the only thing I have to say. The other comment is, if we don't make the payments on this building, my understanding is Kathleen, Jennifer, the rest of the Truist employees will be reporting to Truist Bank. If we have a Cat 5 here, like Lee has been through, Lee, in Florida, stick and frame construction here, probably half it will be gone. This place will go bankrupt. Whatever the people are left, you're gonna be with nothing. And if I'm still here, tell me too.
Is there a question here?
This is a comment. I don't care if you don't like comments or not.
He's a
Sure,
member
question
of
and
the
answer.
board or property owners association. Let him speak.
This is a question and answer. It's
And
not-
I have 5.
Okay.
And what it will do to this community. I give you a reference point. 1992, Hurricane Andrew, I was there.
Charlie,
2
we've been
days after.
saying that from the jump for
Nothing
Use
you
your
can
first and
describe it
last
other than those pictures. of
I've been saying that since
Hiroshima
2021.
and World
If we
War
can't,
II.
if people are not coming to be able to fund the golf course for the amount of golfers, then we lose that amenity, right? Like, yeah.
Bill, keep me out of trouble here. Bill Dreschler. I've been informed, for what it's worth. Yes, it's stick and frame,
I'm
but
confused.
it's pretty stout. It's designed for Cat 5 events. This building, yes, sir. Which is why it's certified, Bill, keep me out of trouble, why it's certified for post-storm refuge.
Our wind zone here.
So we will be going to the community center in the event of a big hurricane.
20 miles an hour.
We better all get along. Lots of wine.
Which is Cat 5. Yeah. Yeah. And it can be done with sticks and frames.
That was not the point. The point is, your individual homes
Done.
are not designed.
Done.
Mine certainly is.
Right.
If your
That
home
is
is
time.
destroyed,
It's
you're
not
gonna
that
have
long.
Myself
property
or my dogs are
damage,
barking.
and they have no collections. All our directors that we elect, they're gonna be reporting through the bank.
I'm not gonna speak.
We default. That's why we, it's so
Done.
right on with his reserve.
Done.
But you have to be able to look at the things we're spending our discretionary money on. The golf course, the restaurant.
Done.
the marina.
Is there a question here?
Probably
This is becoming a public forum. It's not what the intent was here.
Okay.
This is a
Okay.
question and answer period.
Kathleen's got the next question.
Sharon Henke, Royal Pines Drive. And a beleaguered and old resident of 23 years, with 6 years on the board. So I look back and I don't want to rehash what's happened and the mistakes we've made. I worked with the board very hard when we had a 6-figure reserve study growing close, well over 300,000. So I've been upset for a long time. But my biggest concern is when we do this budget and we assign percentages of increase that sometimes sound very unrealistic.
I'm catching up.
And then you plan your spending. Is that how it's done? We used to try to look at how to be in the black and not in the red. And I'm a huge supporter of our amenities, and I was a big part of the acquisition. So I'm not wanting to see any of that go away because I believe that's our living, our quality of life, and our community. But I question in the past and am concerned that have changed what you've said. It makes an awful lot of sense, and I feel a lot more comfort.
We could do that
But
on
I
the golf
still get
course.
disturbed when you
Now
assign
walking back.
unrealistic percentages to areas and then budget what you're gonna spend when that money is not truly available. Is that making any sense?
Not exactly.
At some point, we have to have a public forum, right? Like,
resist
we are
you, but
community
it
members,
doesn't
we are
matter
property
since
owners,
you're
we are
here.
the backbone of the
We in
property
fact
owners
cheated a little
association.
bit and budgeted
We should have a voice.
$132
That's the whole point of
surplus.
these meetings.
I'm gonna call that close enough.
Sorry for,
Unrealistic percentages, I don't know, because I haven't done percentages. We did the capital budget from quotes and forward-looking estimates based on the quotes. And Dan has done the operations from current status and forward projections. In general, the percentage we've used has been 2.7, which is the consumer price index increase.
Well, I wanted to hear that we had a balanced budget. I have, I know when you're creating percentages to various facilities or groups, goals for them to hit, and certainly that's
spending money we do not have.
important.
That's been their MO. This whole
But I've heard over the last 3 to 5 years, when you say, I want to see a 22% increase to a person, and that person says it's not conceivable, it can't happen, but okay, I'll sign and I'll do the best I can. I find that assignment, and I don't know if that comes from Troon or the board or a consolidation of both of them, but when you talk about a 14% increase at the golf course and a restaurant,
they're talking about a 14% increase on the golf course and the restaurant.
To strive for
and a deficit.
it is
on the
great.
Your projections. Let that sink in, folks.
But sometimes I think it's a little bit unrealistic. And that concerns me. But while I have the microphone in my hand that I ripped from Kathleen's hand, I have to say, I've been here 23 years. We've had 2 individuals in this organization involved with the golf course and the restaurant that never carried their title as manager, but carried it in pride as a person, proud of what they were doing and our facility. One of them was Dan Argenteri, and the other one was Amanda. And I'm extremely upset that she's leaving and very concerned. We need to hire, find some miracle worker again,
dude,
that doesn't wear their title,
my wine,
but wears pride,
educated
and production.
guess, which is what I can
That
afford
she's
to do with our
performed
budget
miracles,
numbers.
and I'm crushed
And
for all of us.
almost the entire bottle.
That
was the
knows
last.
that. And I wish
Literally,
you luck.
that was the last of
Pray
it.
hard that there's another Amanda.
Amanda was so great. I loved working with her.
If I can add to that, also agree with the comments, and Amanda's done an amazing job. But one of the things she's done a great job on is building a team as well. And so the team, not just in the food and beverage operation, but the golf operations, is much different than what it was 12 months ago, when we would have been standing up here last year. So sad to see Amanda leave. She's been gracious enough to stay engaged and will be involved until we can find the right structure and the right person to move into that role. We feel confident that we'll be able to do that and continue to build off of that with the new leader, as well as the team that's in place underneath that leader at both the restaurant and the golf operations. And yeah, I mean, I agree. Typically, 14% increase in food and beverage, that equates to $72,000 over what the current year budget is. And when you look at that compared to where the operations were 2 and 3 years ago, it's still slightly below where we were. If you didn't have those historical benchmarks to work from, as well as the progress that's been made this year, the trajectory of the team that's in place, I would be more concerned about that than
Dude.
We don't like presenting budgets that aren't achievable. That's
The board does have the us
do
and
us
them attitude, which is
any
the problem,
favors
for
as
sure.
we get into next year if we're not able to achieve those revenue numbers. Because ultimately that comes back to us and we have to manage that. From a food and beverage perspective, I touched on it a little bit, but we manage that operation based off of percentages. So if the revenue isn't there, then the cost of goods sold will decrease. That expense will decrease. The labor number will decrease because that's based off of activity and as a percentage of revenue. So we would make those adjustments if we're not seeing if we're not achieving the revenue targets that we've laid out. But again, we feel confident about the trajectory and where we're going.
What he just said, based on the revenue targets that we are targeting, which is below budget in a negative, I cannot. We need a plan for getting our restaurant in the positive if we're going to keep it.
Let's take 2 more questions and then wrap it up.
All right, my name is Kevin Hagel, 5904 Vanderbilt Drive.
Please don't say your address. Oh my God.
As you know, I'm a former treasurer, and I have to say, this is the first time that I believe in 10 years that Truman was required to do the budget. It was always the responsibility of the treasurer. And from what I understand, you present the budget and they just provide time off. There are serious issues in this budget. Okay, I read through this document, and they're very, very serious issues. Number one, okay, this spreadsheet that you gave us, all right, columns don't equal. All right, under expenses, you're missing $703,000.
Which spreadsheet are you referring to? What's the
The
heading?
one that you sent out,
What's the heading?
it's the one you presented, that was
Okay.
All right, budget analysis, WLF 51211B4.
All right.
All right,
Take a look.
So we're missing,
all right.
in
so
addition to
we're
needing to
missing
increase dues
$703,000.
to be able to meet the gap, he's saying we're missing
So that's one thing that,
$703,000 in
we
expenses.
need to take a look at. All right, I had the opportunity to do the budget last year, and we have
That's my
2
understanding.
board members, 3 board members on here. When I did that budget, when I presented the budget last year, I said to the board that the budget for the golf and the restaurant, right, was way over budget, right, with targets that you could never ever achieve, right? So and it was close to probably 400, 500,000, something in there. All right. So what I did is I lowered those targets, right? Because it's not an accurate budget. Right? You can't put in
It's an accurate budget.
expectations of revenue that you're not going to get, and then expect that. Well, now I can't, do the expenditures because
The previous treasurer.
Right. So what I presented
Trying to
to the
save
board
things
last
right
year,
now.
I reduced budget $150,000. All right, to take care of that budget gap.
Don, is there a
This
question?
year, all right, and this is an issue, all right, this year, all right, the way the budget was handled, it was doing a comparison of the budget numbers from last
My
year.
face is having a hard time controlling
Right.
myself.
So when you take a look at that, a financial professional, all right, does not do budgets by just matching a budget one year to the budget next year. They go by actuals and they look at trends.
I just received a
They look
report
trends.
last night from Jennifer, that brought up to date the P&L, okay, from, the end of December. If you take a look at the restaurant and the golf, all right, they're short about $117,000. You run that out another 2 months, all right, you're gonna be more than that. All right, so what's gonna happen is that your numbers are gonna be wrong, all right? What needs to be done is to take a look at your actuals and reduce the revenue stream by about $117,000. That's what needs to be done with that. One other thing that you need to take a look at is that you're raising dues $43. That generates something about 117,000 or something like
Yes,
that.
Dan.
All right,
Yes.
if you go from budget to budget, all right, you're $45,000 short. All right, you have 3924, it should be like 3970. That's what it should be.
We'll check the math.
All right, the second thing is, they increased the budget for the golf course and the restaurant by the tune of, hold on, I tell you, I'm a spreadsheet nut, so bear with me. All right, so you're short 117,000 through December. All right, you're gonna be short probably in the next two months, which is gonna increase that. They increased the budget by about $52,000. All right, this is going to give you about $170,000. All right, that needs to be reduced out of that budget. All right, so that the budget is actually correct. And the reason why I'm saying this, you all know that in the contract, right? The employees, they get bonuses to hit certain benchmarks. You put a budget out like this, there's no way you can pay bonuses because they can never reach it in comparison to the budget. So it's very unfair to the workers because they can never achieve getting a bonus. What's the incentive to do better? All right, so my recommendation is to reduce that money, all right, and bring that down. Second thing is in the documentation, all right, it says that there is $670,000, okay, that's unappropriated to anything.
I'm listening.
There's no way you ever do a budget where money is not appropriated. It's always appropriated. The $670,000 that he's doing, that he wants to hold out, right? Right? That money, what it is that's the balance at the end of last year that was in the bank account. All right? The way it works, and this is why you have an operating account and you have a capital account, which he wants to merge. Right? The reason why you have that, right, is because you have X amount of dollars and you control that capital through that bank account. Standard financial, any financial professional that works, okay, in finance, anywhere, any business, they separate operating from capital, everywhere. All right, and here now we want to merge it and co-mingle everything. All right, so there's $670,000 out there, right? $200,000.
Excuse me,
Yeah.
Kevin. Sources and uses of funds has been in use by budget as a budget tool for years. I've had CPAs approve it.
Well, that's fine.
And don't tell me that sources and uses of funds can't be merged and can't be used. It's perfectly legit.
It's not.
Now, in terms of all these other details, they're out in the wind. They need to be considered in the context of what we're doing. If you will put all of that in an email and send it to me, I'll be glad to look through the points. But I cannot follow what you said. I apologize.
Well, I'm going to tell you, there's serious issues here. Very serious issues.
Heard.
All right. So Anyway, on the last thing is that $670,000, the reason why it was put away into a special account is because that's your capital, and you reconcile that bank account, okay, to your projects, all right? That $670,000 that he says is unallocated, that's all allocated money. That's money from the capital plan in 2024, with money, that was money left
All
over.
right, guys, give me
for
one
bills
second.
not paid.
I've got somebody else
So
on.
nothing
Hold
was
one
put
second.
against that. Right, and he's saying that it's on, well, you know where you're paying those bills from? The operating account. Right, so now your operating account is short if you don't use that money, all right, and put some of that back in the operating
I'm not gonna chase decimal points around the room with
Hold
you.
on.
account. That's not decimal.
I'm just not gonna do that.
And
The amount that I said was unallocated, there are no records on how it's allocated. If there is, send it to me because I can't find it.
I'm gonna leave you with this.
I think we're done here.
No.
I think we're done here. And he's like, no,
Guys,
we're not.
we give you
Is
respect
that not
to
the
this
story of our
finish.
freaking lives?
5 minutes is up. Let him finish. Yeah, let him finish. All right. Go on. All right. Like I said, what happened was, is it was allocated, all right, but the treasurer decided that he was gonna stop all projects in 2025. But all the projects weren't done because we had some, there's a balance of about $335,000. All right, of that, that was allocated to projects, and I have that list. All right. One thing is there's money for roads, 80-something thousand, 95,000 in there, for culverts. And so, and I'm gonna tell you, I'm leaving you with a gift, okay? All right, I've
I
always
love when
reconciled
gifts
the
are
capital.
wrapped
There's 122, out of $670,000 or 470 now, there's $122,000 that was left over from projects that either didn't get done.
Kevin
or,
Heidel
you
has
know,
not been
it
the
didn't cost
treasurer
as much.
for at least a
$122,000.
year.
That's
Why is
cash
this a
that
gift that he's just now
I didn't do
informing us
anything
about?
with,
$122,000?
All right, so
This is a gift wrapped in a chain.
$122,000.
Guaranteed it's going to pull us to
But
the
you're gonna
bottom of
have to
Northwest Creek.
move a good portion of that money back into the operating account because it is allocated.
Okay, thank you, Kevin.
End it.
Robert Eichelberg, Ibis Lane. From what you were saying, it looks like we have a $400,000 deficit coming again in the golf course and the restaurant.
Oh, sorry, Louise.
How is that tolerated? I don't understand why this is let go from year to year. Excuse me? Well, I'm not listening. Why is that allowed to go from year to year? I understand a year or two ago was $500,000. That is one hell of a lot of money.
Thanks for being
all
our
of
eyes
us
and ears
having
in the
made
room,
up to
Louise.
keep that thing
It's
going.
amazing.
Are there benchmarks? Are there
Hi,
something
Dan.
in place to bring this to a zero balance? I come from a corporate world. If we had anything like this happen, we would have come up to dry. But yet it's tolerated. Every year, it's tolerated. Oh, so we're $100,000
It's tolerated every year. Why do we tolerate it every year? Because people don't want to push
And we
back
still need
on the
money.
office
Our
insurance.
reserve fund. that would
It's pushed back on, honestly.
I just don't see why it's
Hi,
supposed to
Dawn.
continue to fund that and it looks.
When you look at the food and beverage operation, so
No.
we're budgeting that at a $10,000 loss next
Louise,
year,
I'm
so
moving your mic.
we're getting very close to break even on the food and beverage side. The golf operations, again, that's something that I don't think that it's a realistic expectation because that's going to need to be made up on the revenue side. So generating $500,000 in additional revenue year over year, I don't believe is an realistic expectation. And the operating expenses for the golf course and the restaurant operation are not operating costs that are out of line in order to provide the quality golf course, and the experience that what's been communicated to us is desired. So again, it's something where we've shown the progression
Dawn
year over
and Dan,
year.
who I know are
We're
here,
continuing to push that
are
and
avid
focus on more
golfers.
marketing next year and building up the
If
revenue
we're
in order to
$400-ish
continue to reduce that
$1,000 in the
amount
red on the
that
golf course and
the
restaurant,
residents
and we are
subsidize to
communicating
have
that
the golf
those are
course.
funds, like those are assets to the community that we want to have, they have to be included in the budget.
True, to lose $500,000 a year.
$500,000 a year, yes.
You pay a lot of money, man. And you guys we're losing money. You're sucking us dry.
Losing
Sucking
money.
chest wood.
Yes.
I think we're the little fish in the big pond. And Drew has, from what I understand, a lot of big golf courses, big pond. And we're way down here because we're little. So we don't get involved.
Yeah, that's not accurate.
It's not happening, he said.
Is there any more questions?
My math is right, but $400,000 divided by 20 uncalled. $148.
Why are there so many inconsistencies in there?
It's like
It's a
$20.
Wednesday night and people have kids.
How many residents actually golf course? I mean, what's that? How many residents
John.
here, who's been residents, are actually
Tell him, shut up.
members
He's a member of our community. Let him.
It's time to stop. This is not helping.
To keep a minority playing golf.
No matter what questions or comments you have, if we are a member of the Property Owners Association, you have a voice to speak. Speak them up.
John, get control of this, please.
Okay. Thank you all. We're gonna wrap this up tonight. And appreciate you all coming. And
Dawn.
if you have any questions that, budget questions, email them to Lee and he'll try to get back to you on those.
Feel free to unmute yourself.
And
Hi.
again, appreciate you all coming. Thank you, Wayne, for coming. Thank you, Dan, for coming. Amanda, we will miss you. Thank you.
Yes, for sure, Janelle, for sure. I've asked folks that were in the room if they could stay behind and help us debrief. So I'm going to go back to me.
Good morning, good
Emily.
morning, good
Sorry, this
morning,
is another
amazing.
Emily. Sorry. All right, let's take Emily off the screen. Hi. Louise, unmute yourself. Louise, unmute yourself. Hi. Wait, that was Walt. Yes. Hi. Unmute yourself. Let me tell Louise to unmute her phone. Hold on. Unmute! Exclamation point. We want to hear from people. Unmute. I want to hear you.
Oh, now
Hey,
you're
can you hear
unmuted.
us? Can you hear us?
Yes.
Emily, come run home and run for the board.
Saying hi. Say hi.
You
Hey,
guys are
Emily.
amazing. Hey, how was it? What was it like being, I want to ask, what was it like being in person in the room?
$500,000 and had to subsidize. I did a whole analysis.
Say hi to Emily.
Hi,
Hey, how you
Kevin.
doing?
Hi, good. I hope you're doing well.
We lose some weight.
Look at
I'm
him.
welcome.
I love the hair. I love the goatee. Look at that Fu Manchu.
Hi, Emily.
Hey,
Hey.
I miss you so much. What was it like being in the new Harbor Club for this meeting?
Hot.
Hot?
Yeah. Yes, they got the weather, the stupid meter up to like 80.
Oh no.
See you a little bit later.
No. Okay.
Hello.
Well,
Hi.
hey, I would love to know Hey, Louise, can you still talk?
Yeah.
What was the feeling like? Like, what did you feel like in the community? Like, there was a lot of people. There
In
were
the
a
new
lot of
room? It was very quiet. You could hear a pin drop.
You could hear a pin drop.
Yeah, pin drop. Up, say hi to Ann.
Hi, Ann.
How are you?
Hi, I'm good. I hope you're well. Thanks for your
I
message the
am well.
Good. I'm just trying to get a feel. We still have people on the live stream for what it was like having a meeting in the
She
community
wants to
center.
know what was it like attending the first meeting in here. I said hot. Very hot. Very hot. We're paying for heat. It feels like tropical temperatures in here.
You're trying to recreate Hawaii over there, I feel like.
What a mess in here.
Say hi to Evelyn.
Yeah,
Hi, Evelyn.
what a mess in here.
That's Emily from
It's
Hawaii.
always a mess, Evelyn. You know that. You know that.
Well, nothing is straight here.
They like to spend everybody's money.
Oh, I know.
Well, hopefully that's going to change.
Crazy.
You know,
You also
the craziness.
Yeah.
So true. So true.
But yeah, it was very, very hot.
I'm sorry.
Extremely hot.
We'll see what happens.
Well, I'm glad.
We're paying
Like it
for the golf
sounded
course
from
for
my
his
point
money.
of view on the live stream like there was an echo in the room. Do they have the audio, like the blocks that help absorb exterior noise
Yeah,
on the
but yeah, you see it. Here, we'll walk you around.
Oh yeah, I see now. Okay. Hey, can you walk
See,
me to Lee?
this is
Can you
that
walk me to
sound
Lee?
barrier. You know, the
Yeah,
sound
can
barrier.
you walk me to Lee?
Oh,
I
he
see the
wants
sound
Lee.
barrier.
Where is Lee?
Yeah, can you walk me to Lee?
Wait, Don, come here. Say hi to Emily.
I love Louise.
Emily.
Lee,
Say hi, Emily. No,
Hi,
that's Don. No, it's
That's
Don.
Dawn? No, well, your
Yeah, I
screen was
think left.
froze for a
He
second.
leaves right here. Yeah.
How are
No,
you?
I'm doing good. How you like it over there, Hawaii?
We're doing well over here. It's like 78% humidity and hot. Sounds like it was the same way in that room in there.
Yeah.
She said it was warm in there.
It's freezing outside.
Nobody's
You
been
gotta
hot.
keep people
Look at like feel
occupied.
this.
Yeah.
Feel the clammy?
Yeah. So, yeah, I got to finish up wrapping up here. It's nice stuff.
What did you think of the first meeting in the New Harbor Club?
It was good. I think it went well.
I was live streaming from your YouTube channel that we created last summer, and it was so what you could hear and everything. It was really well. It was. It was
Good. Good. Yeah, we have a good PA system here. It's really nice. So
You said they were getting kickback on the audio.
Really?
You know, on the TV.
There was some echo, like as if the room were empty. But I think all in all, we could actually hear better than in the community center.
Okay, great. I'll listen to the audio tonight and see what we think. So anyhow, I gotta run. Nice seeing you.
Thanks, Don.
Bye.
Bye.
Good night, Don. Up. There he is.
We'll run after him, Lee.
The board. Yep. On resident traffic tickets.
Yep, there he is.
Which were.
Say hi to Emily.
Hi, Lee.
Hi,
And I
Emily.
don't want to cut you off from who you're talking to. I'm not meaning
That'd
to
be
be
Nate.
disrespectful.
That'd be this troublemaker.
I know. Look at that guy right there.
But she's got a question for you, so you can finish with him. I'm gonna go grab Jennifer.
All right.
Okay.
So there were two of you.
Jennifer.
I love that you're just.
Say hi.
How are you?
You're up.
Great.
What hour is it?
They're behind
No,
us.
behind.
Yeah, it's 6 hours
4
behind,
o'clock here.
or 5 hours.
Was that long? Was that meeting long enough? Was that long enough?
She said
Well, it
she
was
was getting
2
an
hours.
echo.
It's long.
No, it was long, but it was good. And I do. What did you think of the meeting in the new community center? This was our first budget meeting in this new community center.
I loved it. It was beautiful. It was great audio. It's a great environment. We were able to play music before when everyone sat down. There was music playing. That's kind of nice to set the tone.
Yeah.
Yeah, I loved it. Didn't you like it, Louise? I mean, it's very comfortable.
They gotta take the temps down a
I
little.
almost did that, but other people said they were cold still from being outside, so.
Oh,
Yeah, but
My armpits
You-
are dripping.
okay, well, you need to wear layers, Louise. You have to wear layers next year.
I didn't have time. I went from the water meeting and I barely got home to be able to cook and get back.
It's
But-
late for me and I haven't been home in 14 hours, so I gotta go.
Thanks,
Good night.
Jennifer.
Good night.
All right, we'll talk to you soon.
So, here, you want to say hi to Kathleen?
Of course.
Oh, there she is.
I can't.
Hi, Kathleen. Oh,
How are
I
you?
froze for a second. How are you?
I'm good. It's good to see you. Are you enjoying it over there?
Of course we are. It's hard to not enjoy paradise. How
Right?
did you like the first
Emily.
meeting in the community?
Oh, hi. I'm on. Oh, goddamn, that's me. Where am I going?
Hey, you want to say hi to Will? I think he's the only one in this section.
Hi,
Yeah, but
Will. I want to ask though, Will, what did you think of the meeting in the community center? Him and Kathleen. Is Kathleen still there? Did you like it?
Oh, yeah.
I think it's good. I think we have much more room. There's not a lot of
Yeah.
people out because it's cold. I mean, it's like freezing as much as you're enjoying the sunset and all of that over there. It's freezing here. So I think that kept a lot of people from coming out.
Yeah, of course. Well, there
But
are
it's
lots of people
extremely hot.
on the other
Oh,
stream.
yeah, we
too.
got oh, no, I told Jennifer, you need to take it down. It's gotta be like 80, 85 degrees in here. Then you pack 100 people in, everybody's breathing. So,
I mean, that's something that we can look at the next one.
no, I'm just saying, you know, gotta come.
I love that
when I'm
Louise is
here
always gonna
today
work
for the
in
water meeting,
what
it
she needs to be
was like really, really hot. So. But
Well, it's good to see you, Emily. Have fun over there.
Good to see you. Bye, Kathleen. Bye,
Bye.
Will.
Hi, good to see you.
I gotta
dear.
keep it down. I'm so used to like, you know, but it's like
Say hi to
down,
Kevin for Ned.
down,
Will
down for the
do.
midgets. You look like you lost a lot of weight. Did you?
Well,
I love that.
it started a few years ago. I'm diabetic, so I started Ozempic and they just switched me up. So in the last 2 weeks, I've lost weight.
Oh, I told my husband to try that.
I'm hoping
This
for
is what you get whenever you stay behind at the meetings. A lot of randomness.
and then I won't be happy. No.
Oh my
But you look
gosh.
good. I just think you look good. All right,
Ed, say hi to Kevin if he's still there.
Kevin. Oh, forget it. He probably ran out of here banging his head
Okay.
against the wall.
But he was making some good points and asking some good questions. I mean, I think as the former treasurer, he at least has more skin in the game than most
Then,
on what numbers are right and not. Keep in mind that you're on a
Yeah.
live stream and there are still people here.
yeah.
Hey,
Say hi, Wally.
hello.
Hi, Wally.
Well,
Good
who am I saying?
questions you asked
That's Emily.
earlier.
Well,
I
thank you.
was talking over you a lot because I was like, that's a good point. Yes.
Sometimes
Good
I get a little
job.
aggressive in my presentation.
No, I loved it. I loved
Well,
it.
thank you. Appreciate
And
the compliment.
It was very succinct. And all of your points were landing with the people on here. There were a bunch of comments as you were talking. So I'll make sure that Lee Fawcett gets all the questions after the meeting.
Well, I think a lot of Lee. I think it's good that he had the same position in a
Yeah.
successful POA. I feel bad for him in some respects. And I can sum the whole thing up. The not-for-profit mentality is completely different than people that are used to running
Yep.
substantial businesses and making money and not
Mhm.
having, Anyway, nice to meet you.
Dude,
Well, she was
thanks
at
for
some of the
being
stop
there.
events.
Good night,
Yeah,
ladies.
thanks for being there.
Night.
Say hi
Bye.
to-
Wait. Because John also was
Do not
wondering
show me
from,
that printed beacon. Do not show me that printed beacon.
because
Take it
Lee
off the thing.
keeps like wanting, say, like the 6 million, because he said that, like he keeps putting it in the budget like on a monthly basis. So like go back
This is
You know,
where
I
the good
forgot how he worded it, but I'll have to ask him later and then I'll text it to you tomorrow. But his concern was like, why is he carrying the $6 million balance every month? You know, like it's an outstanding debt or, you know.
You're not picking up what you're.
So, you know, I'll have to ask John. Because, you know, he's got, you know, he went to CPA school. He didn't finish, but he started. So he's got the math. Me, forget it. I can't even remember at the meeting. And I'm like, well, if everybody just paid like $100, and I was like, you know, we'll have 1.5 million. And then Barbara turned, Louise, it's 150,000.
math works.
Look, you know, I'm not a mathematician.
Well, the only reason I got through all my schooling is because I bought a Hewlett Packard calculator. You know,
Right.
I love you guys.
You see how red my face
you're
is? That's how
amazing.
hot it is in here.
Oh my gosh.
That I'm like dying.
Yeah. Well, my face is red too, but it's from wine.
There isn't. No, but I like.
I wish
it's
you could have
like, oh
been
my
there.
God, it's like 100 degrees. Like my
I just
face.
saw what's his
like,
name walk past. Is Lee still there? Is Lee still there? I thought I saw what's his name walk by.
Oh my God. Did he sneak out on me? Yeah, I think you did.
Are there that many people left in the room? Can you do a room
Yeah.
scan for us? Wow, there are still a lot of people hanging out after the meeting, cavorting and having.
Is it
side-
too,
Yeah, look at
well, because,
that. Okay.
you know, the phone's got to be in a different spot.
Well, and I will say for those of us that were on the live stream the whole time, the internet in that room broke up multiple times. Mm-hmm.
Oh, it always does. Get
But it
me out of the
shouldn't,
way.
right? If you're using the new POA endorsed internet, right?
Yeah.
Okay.
The
Look at all these warm folks. I know you're really good, Louise, at just jumping in. Is Dan still there?
No, Dan's really sick, so Dan hightailed it out.
Okay.
You know, so I'm trying to, you know, convince him to get Zopanex.
Yeah. Well, I saw my camera float by. I sent him a camera with recording stuff, and I saw it float by earlier.
Did you?
Yeah, I was glad to see he had it.
Oh, it's when I walked past past Justin's.
I do love the beams in that room. You're showing us the ceiling right now.
The problem is, you see that thing in the middle?
It's a line,
You know, like
a
that
water
little
line.
square.
Oh, the black wire.
Well, no, beyond that, like you see how like there's a little cutout, you know, like a little square.
Okay. No.
Yeah, let me see if I can get under it. All right, can you see it now?
Oh yeah.
So
I do see
ultimately, all the heat and the air conditioning has to go up to that point. And then you see how they crappily, you know, left the sprinkler system exposed. See?
Well, yeah. Okay.
She's admiring the ceiling.
It's a beautiful space.
But see how, you know, the sprinkler's exposed?
Yeah.
You know, the water lines.
Mm-hmm.
So, and then of
Hopefully
course,
it doesn't get too cold in there. That's probably why the heat's up high.
yeah, no, so, oh, Jennifer's turning the lights off.
Uh-oh, she's kicking you out.
Yeah, but they have a problem with the two doors. You know,
Shut up. There's no
the
problems.
doors aren't locking.
The doors are not locking. Is that what you said?
Yeah, the doors aren't locking. So,
That's fun.
you know, so what happens is, because everybody comes in through, no, I got.
Hi.
I have Emily on video.
Look at Gloria in the background. And Al, is that Al? No,
no, she's in Hawaii.
Can I say hi and congratulations to Gloria and Al?
Yeah.
They're right there.
They Gloria. Sorry. Emily wants to, oh, there she is.
Congratulations on your Hall of Fame admission. Thank you so much for
Thank you.
all that you do. And it
Not
was
a problem.
Al standing right to your left.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, he kind of.
Al, look at you.
Which, Alfie, we gotta go. I know. The twins.
Thank you, Al. Congratulations.
She said congratulations.
Someone's gonna get hurt on this carpet. Oh, well, yeah, it turns out. Yeah,
Yes.
watching your feet turn.
That and those things in the floor. I don't know if they're like for mopping.
Tax. Oh, okay.
You too.
Oh. All right, now I gotta figure out where am I? Oh, okay.
You got the beep beep? Flash the lights.
No,
This is
I'm just, oh, is it too dark? See
No.
the, can you see the harbor?
I do see
You
the
know,
harbor.
You know, the inner harbor.
The inner harbor is beautiful at night. What are the lights that are long?
Those are palm trees. They put up palm trees.
They wrap them in lights for the holidays.
Well, that's their way of keeping because they're new trees.
Keeping
So
them
because
warm.
they haven't you know, like a permanently taken root yet.
Mm-hmm.
So they got to
Mm-hmm.
keep them warm.
I love that. Well,
So,
it's at least bright. You can see it.
Yeah, because I'm standing on the side of the phone. So,
Mm-hmm. I
but
know.
that's the deck.
I see a lot of wine nights out on that deck when I get back.
I'm like trying to.
I won't be able to get inside because I refuse to participate in the RFID thing. So,
Yeah.
oh, I
Well,
lost her.
during the day it's open. You know, it's open during the day. Trying to see.
You're like
Okay.
in and out of internet, Louise.
Am I? Yeah, it's the crappy internet here.
Mm.
And for whatever the reason, they have it set up where you need a passcode. So like you can't come in and like hook up. You need their passcode. Because when I
Oh, so
was
you have
here
to go in and
earlier
say
today, well, no, you know, you got to get permission. You know, it's like they
Oh.
got to give you the passcode. So like if you go
Mm.
anywhere else, remember, like you could just stream into their Wi-Fi. Here they're not.
Yep.
It's not. You know, they're not letting you. Because when I
Oh.
was here earlier for the water meeting, I couldn't even get on. Like so, and I think my phone's still on data.
Yeah, for sure.
So, you know, like data usage, which might be
Mhm.
another reason because Verizon sucks, but that's another story.
Nice.
So this is outside.
I love the haint underneath, the haint blue underneath the
Yeah.
awning. Is that blue underneath? That's a very old Southern thing that keeps ghosts away.
Yeah. What, the blue?
The haint
Yeah,
blue.
it's like
Mhm.
Yep. Yep.
Mhm.
Yeah, because it is actually. I
do
didn't
like
even
that.
notice that. I never noticed that.
My house
Oh,
has the
see the
haint
camera?
blue underneath the port. Yeah, I see the cameras. I can't even with the cameras. Okay.
But so yeah, I haven't noticed. So we just walked basically the entire room.
Mhm.
Oh, we're still walking around.
Well, don't get kicked off the property, Louise.
No, it's open till 10 o'clock.
Oh, okay.
I could actually go into the building until 10 o'clock. This is
Nice.
the screened-in porch.
Yes, which looks
Can you see
amazing.
it?
That's gonna be fun this summer. Yeah. And it keeps
So,
the yellow flies and the mosquitoes off of you.
yep. Yep.
Mhm.
And then See the doorway?
Yes.
That brings you into the building. Those windows right there.
Mm-hmm.
Can you see them?
I do.
Whoop. That's actually, they're accordion windows.
Right. They were going to be able to serve out of there, right? Or
Yep. And the bar is on the other side of those windows.
mm-hmm. We
And
love
then
a
that
building
door,
bar.
and that door brings you into the bar. And
Mm-hmm.
then when I was in there the night of the grand opening,
Mm-hmm.
I believe there's 25, 30 seats in the
Okay.
bar.
Okay.
And the bar actually seats another 6 to 8. And then there's
Okay.
standing room. So I'm going to say for as little space as it is, there had to be 40, 50, 60 of us, depending on the moment that we're
Sure.
standing in
Sure.
that room.
Yeah.
So,
Well, that's
and
nice.
then more palm trees,
Okay.
no lights.
Of course. Well, and also you have to marry that with the whole light pollution thing because we also like to see the night sky and the stars. So,
Well, that
like,
seems to be an issue. But you see the fancy stone?
mm-hmm. If you need some
So,
river rock or know anyone that needs some river rock, I would love to donate 100% of what is under my house because I hate it and we are
do
going to
you?
pave it. And so I'm getting ready to get rid of it all. Mm-hmm.
Oh,
So you just let me know. If you are, and we still have people on the live stream. Thank you so much for staying. But if you need river rock,
well,
let me know because I would love for you to go to my house and take it.
I might actually do that.
I would love that.
Well, they're not tearing down my house. So they threw me out of the program.
Oh, no.
So, but there's the water, and all the houses. And Charlie Jump is the chairman of
Yes.
the lighting committee.
Okay.
So he's going to try to find solar. So of course I said to him, "What are you, nuts?" Because if we don't have sun for 3, 4, 5 days, how are you going to light that parking lot?
Well,
So,
as someone who has solar all around their back porch, I check on my house every single day, and there is not a day at night that I do not have power to those lights. So far in the past, like 45-ish, 50 days that we've transitioned to solar power for all the lights around our porches.
And it's working?
It's working perfect.
Oh.
I even had people staying there for a week and they told me that the lights were beautiful outside and they're 100% solar powered, no electrical plugged in or anything.
Oh.
And David Banks, Ashley Banks's husband, is the one who installed them. So if if Charlie wants to reach out to David.
Yeah, because he wants to Mike wants him to do a committee. So that's that square thing. Can you see the square up top?
I see the square thing, yeah. Mm-hmm.
And Charlie's the chairman and Mike Foster is the liaison.
Mike Forster. Mm-hmm.
Mike wants like the fancy lights, kind of like the European, with it's like a post.
Sure.
And then there's 3 bulbs.
Yeah.
So Mike wants to go that route. And then Charlie has to find something.
Oh, you're very well lit. I love that lighting on you. That looks beautiful.
Well, coming off the palm tree.
Mm-hmm. I love it.
As soon as I step off the curb, it's like pitch black.
It's okay.
So, because there's no, and ironically, they didn't rent lights. For the grand opening, they rented portable construction lights.
Okay.
Tonight they didn't.
That's a choice.
So, yeah, I
Well,
think
it's
that's
probably
really
in keeping with the theme of the meeting, it's probably important.
yeah,
Like, we don't want to be tone deaf, right? That we have not enough reserve funds and not
right.
enough cash on hand for the projects that we have planned, especially with all of the storm
Yeah,
water and swell discussion, to also be paying money to light a parking lot. Mhm.
right. Oh no,
Mhm.
so but like Charlie, when I discussed it with him, um, he's basically looking at probably something that's going to be both.
Sure.
So if in the event, like say there's not enough sun, um, because as time goes on, there,
Mhm.
the battery, the solar itself isn't going to work.
Of course.
So,
Of course.
so if in the event, at least then it'll have a backup, which would be the electric. Obviously,
Mhm.
in a hurricane,
Yeah.
there's not going to be a backup,
Of course.
you
Of
know,
course. Well,
but because there's no generator on this building.
but if there were a hurricane to that degree, we likely wouldn't be meeting at the community center anyway.
And ironically, now that I think about it, because this room, like I said, this building the requirement was supposed to be that it serves as a shelter.
Oh,
So,
with all that glass?
yeah, yep.
Okay.
Well, supposedly it's like I don't want to say it's probably bulletproof glass, but maybe some type of like shatterproof because supposedly this building can withstand, category 5.
Side eye? Do you see my side eye?
Yep.
Mhm.
Oh no, but look,
Mhm.
because I did construction, and I'm sitting here like,
Don't
hmm.
fire a bullet at the window, Louise. But
Well,
I but I
and look,
am
I could
curious.
accidentally trip, and sorry,
Don't do that. Don't
um,
do that. Safe,
but
safe.
no, so my point is, but there's no generator.
Okay.
So we can't be here. I mean, what are we going to do? Sit around by flashlight? I mean, we
Yeah,
could.
generators are expensive too. We had one put into our house when we first moved to Fairfield Harbor, and it was not inexpensive, for sure.
Yeah, but supposedly they were out of money.
Well,
But then Lee said, but there was, and I don't remember what it was, so don't quote me, but it was, I'm going to say about 400,000 left.
400,000 left in what we
Yeah.
originally
No,
planned for
of the bank
loan.
money of the loan.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Well,
There's
then they
like
should have given a generator.
250 to like 400,000. Because again, I don't
Oh,
remember what the number was, but somewhere in there. So there's at
well, then
least a
there
half a
should be
million.
yeah, so there should be a generator there.
So, but I guess they're putting aside, money to do all the last minute important. So,
Mhm.
lighting, maybe the generator, how everything's
Okay.
a secret.
I love that.
So,
I love that.
so, but, Lee did say it will serve as a,
It
shelter.
will serve as a shelter with
Yes.
no generator.
He did say that in the meeting tonight.
So if we have
So,
folks on oxygen or anything like that, they won't be able to plug in their converters.
well, they will, providing that
Not if
the
there's a
building has,
generator. Right, not if
right,
there's
right,
a generator. That's the
providing that
whole
there's
reason during
electric.
Helene why my mother-in-law came to stay 2 weeks with us was she had no power for over 2 weeks, and she came
Yeah.
here just because she had no oxygen access when she was in
Yeah.
Asheville, and so we went and got her and brought her down.
Well, again, it was definitely a requirement because the community center is technically at risk of flooding. So
Mhm.
even
Well,
though it
because
never
it's under
has,
water.
so so they made it, a requirement for the replacement for this building.
Mhm. Mhm. Mhm.
So, and personally, I didn't have electric after Florence until almost Halloween.
That's amazing.
You know, because by the time you get on somebody's list, because they yanked everybody's meters. So by the time you get on a list and you can get a contractor, you know, an electrician out to give you the inspection to sign off, and then you send it into the county, and then the county contacts Tideland, you know, it's time, because Glenowitz actually did it for me. He sent me the contractor and then everything, and then he handed in the inspection. So, you know, and basically, and he was doing, you know, because John, I'm going to say, rounded up, there was like 5 or 6 of us.
Okay.
And that was just one call going in, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
it was him, and then it was 4 or 5 more of us.
Oh, that was sweet.
So, yeah. Oh, trust me, I'm going to miss him. I do miss him.
I know, we already miss him for sure.
Yeah.
I thought of him the other day.
You know, and then I was like, you know, I just saw a picture of Morgan. It was like, oh
I
my
know.
God. You know,
Yeah, for
because
sure.
now I got to fight with Jennifer because, you know, I'm
Well, we're
trying to
not
do
fighting, we're
no, because I'm
pushing an
trying to do a
agenda.
kitty committee. So, and the problem is because I told Jennifer, you know, like, so the kitty committee should be in charge of all things kitty. You know, that's the whole purpose of doing a kitty committee. So, and I told Jennifer, and then we could take, say, you know, all the events back from the events committee.
Okay.
Do you know she actually said, oh, but Louise, you can't do that. They might get upset. You know, do you know how they're going to feel that they've been doing it all this time? And I'm thinking to myself, well, what time?
Right.
Morgan,
That
you
was
know, because
exactly what
this conversation was a month ago. So Morgan,
Right.
I mean, like, is barely gone a
I know.
year.
Right.
What all this time? You know, like, did I miss something? So anyway, so now I'm going to have to fight. You know, because I said to Jennifer, you got a bunch of grandmas doing events. So,
yeah, yeah, for sure. Well,
you know, I mean, you know, some things just need to go back to the mommies. You know, because the mommies are going to stay up to date.
that is so true. And there are mommies that are willing to be on the committee. I know of one. I can send you her name if you haven't talked to her already.
Probably not.
Okay. She lives right down the street from you now. They bless her.
I'm assuming Christina.
Yes. Yes.
Yeah, no, because she left the residence group, so she probably didn't see the post.
Oh, okay. Well, I can email her. Like she and I
So,
text all the time.
you know.
Okay. Have you seen anybody leave that building yet?
Oh, everybody's gone. I'm the only one still standing
Oh, I
in the
thought we were
parking
waiting
lot.
for Lee to come out. Sorry.
No, Lee took off, I guess, when I wasn't looking. I guess too busy fraternizing with Jennifer. And he must have slipped out the other door.
Well, thank you
You know,
for
there's lots
joining
of
me.
doors, but
Thank you for joining me and getting me some FaceTime with everybody I miss so much.
So yeah, well,
I'm gonna get off this live stream and then we can always text or chat later, okay?
no, that's fine. That's fine.
All right. We'll
You know,
talk
because
to you soon.
this way I could tell you about the new rumor going.
Oh, Lord help us. Okay. All right. I'll talk
All
to
right.
you later.
I'll talk
Bye.
to you later. All right, bye.